Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Speak On It podcast. I'm your host, Big Mike. We are here. We are here live. Not live, but we are here recapping a couple of weeks in sports. It's been real fun. A lot going on, a lot of testosterone going on. But we're going to get to it. I can't do this alone. Got a full house tonight. I'm going to bring the boys in. I got the Mad Producer Podcast Poppy in the building. I got my man 20 grand. He's in a good mood because his MVP pick is rolling. His Commanders are doing good. It's everything's doing good except his team, the Raiders. But nevertheless, Anthony is here in the building.
I don't care what our record is. There's only one nation. I don't care.
I feel you on that. Tighten up. Don't care.
Titan stink.
Fuck the Jags.
The Raiders stink. How about at Breezy will be.
Y'all don't even know how to stink.
Huh? We don't know how to stink.
Y'all don't even know how to stink right. At the end of the day, we know how to stink right. At least we're putting ourselves in good position right now. Y'all over here. I'm talking about for draft, man. I'm talking about for the draft.
We lost by 40. What are you talking about?
Anthony is over here speaking out of his ass because he's like, "Oh, I want the Raiders to lose, but I want Aiden O'Connell to play well," not knowing that if they lose, Aiden O'Connell is not going to be the quarterback of this team.
I said I want him to win a few games. I also said that I want him to
want a good draft pick.
What? No, if O'Connell plays well and we lose a few, we suck. We're 2-10. We're still gonna get a good draft pick, even if we win a few games but still lose. If we lose like half our games, we're still gonna get a high draft pick. At the end of the day,
you could have a better.
Listen, if Aiden O'Connell plays well, we wouldn't need a quarterback. All right, we'll still be in prime position to get a great skill player.
He wants to know what he wants already. He already knows what he wants. And it's his mentee.
It could change by week 18.
You're unbelievable.
So I was unbelievable until I saw other people echoing the same sentiments I did.
And you all are dumb. I'm sorry. You all are dumb. Like, you have an option to have a quarterback who is already the best quarterback on your roster. Shedeur Sanders right now is better than everybody on your roster.
He's not better than Max Crosby.
At quarterback.
Okay.
He's definitely a better quarterback than Max Crosby. Anthony going, "Oh, let's keep Aiden O'Connell and draft Travis Hunter. Where are you going to play him?" Like, when he said that, I was like, nobody even knows where they're going to play Travis Hunter right now. No clue. You're like, "Oh, we're going to draft and play wide receiver." He's a better corner than he is a wide receiver. Why would you do that? He's not playing both
He's
sides.
He's still a good enough wide receiver to be on the Raiders. I'll tell you that much.
Listen, and Dylan laughed at me, but the sky may have opened up. The lanes may have opened up. All I need is for me to be right about Dylan's favorite quarterback, Mac Jones. Because if Mac can get the Jaguars a little spark, get them to go 2-2.
You must be watching
Highway
McCorkle that I've been watching.
The Highway just opened the number one pick. And I'm pretty sure Prime is going to tell Shedeur, "You're absolutely not going to Tennessee," which is fine because that means I get Cam. And that's what
I think the whole NFL already is.
What's the mock draft? What's the draft order look like right now?
Don't care. Tennessee's number 2. That's all I care about.
You guys are not number 2.
Giants. I think the Giants are 2, actually.
The Giants are 2, Jags are 1.
No. What are we again?
Tennessee might be 3.
Tankathon NFL.
Don't let me find it before you do it.
I already got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're 2.
Yep, Raiders are 2. Tennessee's 7.
Damn.
Yeah. Where the hell you get? Yeah, I was like,
well, we're 7th. We're worse than the Jets. Dylan, see this again.
Yeah, you guys are all the way down there.
argument that we had on Sunday. I don't care what y'all say. If Tennessee finishes with a better draft pick than y'all,
I'll be
I
pissed.
don't care. I don't care what you. The Titans stink too. Nope, better than y'all.
The
Better
thing is,
than y'all.
I will sit there and be like, I can't believe y'all lost to us. I can't believe y'all lost to us.
And what that is Anthony's favorite word, deflecting.
Deflecting. But
Deflecting.
if we finish with the same record, we'll be good because you guys have a higher strength of schedule. So, I'm confident in us not winning another game this year. Are you confident in you guys not winning another game this year?
No, because we still have to play Jacksonville.
We also have to.
Yeah, that's. I know I'm confident. I'm confident in my schedule. I can tell you that much. Our schedule's fucking brutal. Shit, we gotta play Jacksonville too. The fuck?
Damn,
why are we playing Jacksonville? We're in Tampa. We're in Tampa this week. That's an L.
Awesome.
We have the Falcons on Monday. I don't know. Falcons are.
I don't know. Kirk Cousins might show his ass.
Yeah. The Jaguars at home, on the road against the Saints, home against the Chargers.
I see one.
I see us potentially winning 2 more games. 1 or 2.
On there. I see 2 on there.
Depends on what Kirk Cousins shows up.
Exactly. That's why I can't predict everything.
No, I could see y'all beating the Saints and beating Jacksonville.
We're not beating the Saints. They're absolutely not beating the Saints. Derek Carr is going to put he's going to drop 304 touchdown passes. Yeah, he's going to come with a vengeance.
I have confidence that no matter where the Jets end up, I think they're going to be trading with Jacksonville anyway. So
I don't want Jacksonville to get that one.
Confident.
I don't want them to get that one spot because I know they're going to trade with somebody.
Yeah, they're trading out.
I want Jacksonville to get that take because I know that Cam Ward's not going number 1. I know.
He would.
To who?
Anybody that's not the Raiders.
Cam is not going before Travis or Shador.
Shador won't go 1 unless Prime picks the team.
I'm telling you.
That's why it's if you get a quarterback team that's not the Raiders to trade up for 1, that will be Cam Ward.
Honestly, if this stays just like this, I'm a little
Travis
nervous.
Hunter.
I'm a little
Shador
nervous
Sanders.
Because the Giants might ruin everything. But New England's not taking a quarterback. Carolina's not taking a quarterback.
Carolina's also a trade back team.
But I'm saying even if they don't, they're not taking a quarterback.
No.
Carolina's not going to take a quarterback. New England's not going to take a quarterback. I don't think the Jets are going to take a quarterback. I don't know
if the Jets can get to the top 3, they're taking.
I wouldn't rule out New York. I wouldn't rule out New York at all.
Both New York teams will take a quarterback if Shador and Ward are available.
So that's my only concern. I'm hoping.
But if Jacksonville stays put, which they probably won't, then
trading out.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, and at this point, and I'm just speaking facts. Hopefully, the Giants stay racist and they take that kid from Texas.
Quinn Ewers.
I mean, that's what I'm hoping. Stay racist. Stay racist.
So that have a chance drafting Ward.
So I can.
The only way Ward would get past the Jets is if somebody trade with Carolina to get him.
Or even Tennessee. Maybe I don't know if Tennessee would not trade up.
It all depends what you want to give up.
Capital. Yeah, we don't really have nothing to give up. But you never know what these teams
with me, want. I know that the Jets will trade Devontae Adams and then draft picks to trade to Jacksonville. Like, oh, we could partner Trevor with Devontae Adams.
It's a lot of money.
No, his guaranteed money's up.
Oh. So you don't think he's going to be a Jet next year?
If he's a Jet next year, that means Aaron Rodgers is a Jet next year, and I don't want that.
Is that what you think is going to happen, though?
I think Rodgers is going to be back, and I hate it. So I'm creating whoever the GM is like, we don't want you, Aaron. Because even Rodgers today in his press conference was like, I want to be here, but if the people in charge tell me they don't want to be here, then I won't be here. And I'm hoping whoever the next GM is an adult and is just like, hey, I don't want him here. Because if it's an adult, then that means we get Mike Vrabel. And then Mike Vrabel's going to be like, hey, I don't want him here.
Absolutely. No, Vrabel will probably take Aaron, but he's absolutely going to tell Aaron, I'm not with the bullshit. So you want to start doing this, you will be sitting on this bench right next to me. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
At that point, don't even bring him back.
Well, you got he's still Aaron Rodgers. So, like,
I don't give a no, he's not. No, he's not. Get that allure of Aaron Rodgers out of here.
We're doing
he's no longer
that. You're doing with Zach Wilson, where you're just acting like this man's throwing a pick every time he goes out there.
No, I'm not doing that.
He's not playing awful. He's just not playing at a Hall of Fame or Pro Bowl
he's
level.
not playing at a good level. That's the problem. He's not playing good football. When you watch him play, you can't sit there and be like, man, this is remotely average football.
He's playing top 20 football.
No, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's bad. That's horrendous.
He's playing top 20.
That's awful. And to be honest, he's playing top 5 football. He's not playing top 20
not playing
football.
top 25 football.
Come on, dude, man. You're being too hard.
Listen, you see all these teams on this list right now? Aaron is playing better than Trevor Lawrence. Aaron is playing better.
Hold on, is he?
He has one more pick than him.
I don't care about the picks. I don't care about the picks. The problem is Aaron isn't completing throws. Aaron's looking off. He only throws to the sidelines constantly. He doesn't throw in the middle of the field. He's a fucking statue. He's just old. He's old. He doesn't field the same. He is not a high-level quarterback anymore.
He's still playing better quarterback than whatever the Giants are throwing out there.
That's not saying much.
He's playing better. Now, AOC had a great game on Friday, but he's playing better quarterback than whatever the Raiders have been throwing out there. He's not playing better than much. He's not playing better than Drake May. He's not playing better than Drake May.
Is playing
Drake
really
May's
good.
out here. He's trying.
Playing really good.
And it's making me nervous because I really feel like New England's got a quarterback again.
I think they do. I think they have a guy. I don't trust Mayo.
Well, we don't know yet because their offense still has.
Well, their head coach is also an idiot.
You don't think he's done a decent job this year?
No.
I don't.
No.
Patriot fans also hate him.
Yeah, he's a fucking dork.
Yeah, that's to be expected though.
No,
well, yeah, that is kind of.
It's not because he's black, and they hate him. Because he says things he shouldn't be saying.
Are you sure, Dylan?
And
are you sure?
Back a lot. So, like, he's been accused of calling this team lazy and they have no heart. And this is all the same people that Belichick coached last year that played well, right? Outside of like Judon, like on the
defense is still playing well,
and he's calling them fucking gutless. And then he has to
try
walk
to inspire. He's trying to get the most. He's trying to get every drop out of that defense.
And then he has to apologize and say he shouldn't have said that
because everybody's soft.
But but don't say if you're going to walk it back. Don't say it at all. Then it means nothing. Then it means less. Right? Yeah. So like. Aaron Rodgers is giving me better quarterback play than everybody in the top 7.
Yeah.
And Jameis. And Jameis. You can't tell me after watching this motherfucker.
But you know what I will tell you? You can't tell me that if Jameis wasn't playing for the Giants, it would be like 6-6 right now.
I can't say that because I watched him single-handedly lose this game.
That last
Jameis is just
touchdowns in that game. 2 to the other team.
Like that is crazy. No, both pitch kisses were bad. Like bad. Like it's crazy because at that point
But
he had 400.
The other.
When he gets cooking, when he starts, Amos looks really good when he
Wait,
gets going.
yo, he's a top 3 quarterback when he's cooking, but then he just goes from top 3 to like dead last in like 5 minutes. Like
I saw
it's so wild.
and they're like, let's list all the quarterbacks who have thrown for 5,000 yards in a season. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, Jameis Winston. Oh, in that 5,000 yard season, Jameis Winston also threw 30 interceptions. And it's just like, holy, like even in the good, there is this crazy amount of bad. It's horrendous. Like that's why it's like I can't root. It's so much more fun to watch Jameis Winston from afar because if he was the quarterback on my team, your team, we'd all be watching the games like this through our fingers because we'd be like, oh my god, I don't trust him. You can't honestly tell me that we trust Jameis Winston.
I couldn't deal with him on my team. It's just
He give me a
like because again, like literally after the game, the number one trending thing was like Jameis Winston experience. That was like the number one trending thing after the game. Like it is the quintessential Jameis Winston performance. Like
he's a roller coaster. Like my little heart would be able to take it. Like either be good or be bad, right? I can handle it. I can't handle the in between. Where it's like you give me good and then you give me bad and then you give me bad and then we're back to being good. Like I don't give hope is the worst. Jameis does this thing where he gives you hope and then he rips it away, but he's really nice guy. He's a really
he gives you really no, he gives you extremely good. He gives you extremely good, and then he'll give you extremely bad. Right? I'm just like fuck, James. Like okay, even after the second pick six, they still marched down the field. Yeah, the game was pretty much over, but they could have still done the onside kick. You know, you never know. So I'm like, okay, they're in the end zone. It's 31 to I think it was like 40 or something like that, and he throws. He is looked like a lob right to the defender, and I was like, no. I was like, no, come on, dude. You just threw a pick six.
deliver me from all these pick sixes. He's an unreal human. Like he's an unbelievable human. Like I would run through a brick wall with that dude if he was my teammate. But boy, at the same time, I'd just be like, bro, what the fuck is happening?
I think he's really bothered. I mean, you have to be bothered to be out here praying to God to help you.
He's not. He's unserious. He's so not serious.
You don't think he's serious?
No. He's.
You don't think he wants to be delivered from those pick
like
sixes?
him as a person, like he, like unknowingly is incredibly unserious of a person. Like on Thursday night, he was like, "Oh, I'm thankful for the Lord. He let me play a game of football in the snow and all that shit." Like you're not real. You're not real. Like you're not a real person. Like a real life caricature of a person. And I love that.
Oh man,
guy. But boy, I'd be so heartbroken if he was my quarterback because like you're a good dude, but I got just stop. How many games has Jameis Winston won at quarterback this year? One?
no, he's won. I know he beat the Steelers. He beat the who's that team he beat at home? He beat the Ravens. Yeah, he beat the Ravens.
He beat the Ravens. Did are we sure Jameis was the Steeler quarterback for that win?
Yeah, that was a snow game.
Steelers. Oh yeah, right. So two. So he's won two. So he's won one less game than Aaron Rodgers.
Right. to be fair, if because that Browns defense didn't show up, so it's not like Jameis got help. So yeah, but that Browns defense was bad the other night. Look, if Jameis can limit himself to maybe here's the thing, when Jameis is good, he's really good. If you can limit the picks or the pick sixes to like one, which it should be like nah for real though. if he can limit it to at least once, like that, I think that's an achievable goal for the dude. Like, and the Browns got to get the running game going too. You can't be
That
doing all
man,
them passing.
he got LASIK surgery because he was unable to see and was blaming that for all of his interceptions, and then went and got LASIK surgery and then throwing interceptions. Again, I love Jameis as a person. As a football player, God, keep him away from me. I'd much rather watch him from afar. I'd much rather watch him from afar because he gives you hope and then he takes it away. I'd rather have hope and then watch it be bad and then have no hope. Don't give me all of the emotions in one sitting. Don't do that.
He gave it to me, and he's not even on my team. That's how it felt when I was watching the
Watching you
game.
in real time on Monday, be like, oh my God. Like, I feel like everything I've been saying to you about Jameis Winston over the last like 3 years, I was like, I think he's finally seeing what I see. Like, I don't root against him. I just know he's going to throw interceptions.
And bad ones.
I just know he's going to throw the wildest touchdown pass I've seen in 30 years. But then he's also going to throw some of these crazy interceptions. It's like, what are you doing?
He's a gunslinger at his finest.
I don't even know if that's the correct term. I don't even know if that's the correct term. Because if Jameis was a starter for a few years, I feel like he'd be on pace to break Brett Favre's interception record.
Do you think he plays that bad that he shouldn't have landed like a starting job by now?
He's a bridge
think
starter.
He plays.
I don't think he's a real starter.
I don't think there are 32 quarterbacks better than Jameis Winston.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think there's 32 quarterbacks.
The problem is there may not be 32 quarterbacks better than Jameis when he's at his best, but there's absolutely 30 other quarterbacks better than him when he's at his worst.
He's better than Deshaun Watson.
That's a low bar.
He's better than Daniel Jones.
On his team.
Better than Drew Lock. Where the fuck you throw out on the Giants is better than that?
Oh, yeah, no, he's better than... Okay. Bam. There's two, but am I taking him... Let's go through these, right? I'm not taking him over Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably take him over whatever the Raiders have.
I would too.
I'm taking him over anything the Giants have.
Fuck no. Mm-hmm.
Okay, AOC #1 fan there. I'm not taking Drake. I'm not taking him over Drake May.
Nope.
I'm not taking him over Bryce Young.
Nope.
As much as I hate Rodgers, I'm not taking him over Rodgers.
Nope.
We have a situation here in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I also think he puts you guys in the same exact spot you're in.
I disagree. I think he makes that Titans team a better team. I would put him over Will Levis.
I don't know. I think they're about
to. I would put him over Will.
He is already a quarterback in Cleveland. He's not better than Joe Burrow.
No, hell no.
He's not better than Derek Carr. He's not better than Caleb.
Nope.
He's not better, especially Caleb recently. Ever since they fired the offensive coordinator, he's cooking. He's not better than Tua.
No.
He's not better than Dak.
He's not better than Dak, but he is better than Cooper Rush.
Yes, but Cooper Rush isn't a top 30 quarterback.
Okay.
He's a top 35 quarterback. He's not better than Purdy.
No.
The Indianapolis situation, I don't know. He's better quarterback.
After seeing this last game, I don't know. Like, I saw a very good Anthony Richardson.
I saw
Joe Falco take this team. If Falco can do that with them dudes, I think Jameis could do that.
But Jameis also likes to do that interception thing a lot. So that it's like, however, we're saying now, we're like, oh, he can bring us here, but he can also keep us where we're at, or worse. He's not better than Baker.
No.
He's not better than Stafford. He's not better than Kyler.
Yeah, we pretty much can stop now because he's not.
Yeah, he's not better than any of these guys. He's not better than any of these guys. He's not better than any of these guys.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd say there's 2, maybe 3 teams you can start on.
But he'd be real quick to get pulled because of that interception problem.
Yeah, but if you're the Giants, will you bring in Tommy DeVito?
No,
what you
Jones, you just cut him. And so the Giants are going to cut him anyway because they don't like black quarterbacks. So
at all.
They really don't.
Give it a chance.
How is Jalen Milroe?
He's horrible.
He's not.
Really?
I don't think he's gonna be.
He's not an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be.
Because I've been looking at because I don't watch college. I've been looking at a lot of these lists. They have him pretty high on quite a bit of these lists.
Positional value is the only reason he's that high. Think of Jalen Milroe as a little bit better Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
If you say so.
If that. I think he's
the top 2 names is pretty much
Richardson, but other than that arm talent, I think Richardson's better. I think Milroe might be a little bit more accurate, but he's not accurate really at all. He is, to me, not a first rounder at all. I don't think he's a second rounder. He's a third or fourth round quarterback. But Anthony Richardson also should have been a third or a fourth round quarterback. But because of positional value, they always get overrated. Like, this is a 2 to 3 quarterback class that could be taken in the first round, but we'll probably see 4 or 5 go in the first 2 rounds because of positional value. So, like, Shador and Cam should be the first round, no ifs, ands, or buts. Quinn Ewers should be later first round. And then homeboy from LSU should be like beginning of the second round, but he'll probably find his way in the first.
Garrett Nussmeier.
Yep. Nussmeier should play. He's a baller. He might find his way in the first round, but again, positional value is going to overrank him. And then Jalen Milroe shouldn't sniff the first round, but some fucking team's going to take him.
Who's Drew Aller?
Who?
Drew Aller?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Penn State?
We don't quarterbacks.
Nah.
No, they had Carson Beck up there too as well.
Carson Beck also stinks.
Yeah, I don't think Carson Beck He's Daniel Jones. He's Daniel Jones.
That's nice.
That's what he is.
There's 2 clear-cut quarterbacks. Like, the 1 and 2 are Shador and Cam.
You don't think Quinn is clear-cut?
And that kid from Texas can play.
He can play. I don't think he's clear-cut. I don't think he's better than those 2. Or
he's not better than those 2.
In the same realm as those 2.
I think he's an NFL quarterback, though.
I think he's an NFL quarterback. I think he is more of an NFL quarterback than if you put 5 Jalen Milroes together. But that's just because. But Quinn Ewers should be back half of the first round. Have him go back up behind a good quarterback who's at like long in the tooth. Like if he went to the Rams, shit. You have him sit behind Stafford for a year or 2, shit.
Trouble.
Here's my thing though. You gotta look back at this draft order. I mean, I know it's not final right now, but look at these teams. There's us, New York, Tennessee, the other New York. That's 4 right there, and then that's not a count. And then obviously, I said Tennessee already, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. There's like 4 or 5 teams that are potentially very quarterback needy in those early slots. I don't know. I think this might be like last year where you got a bunch of quarterbacks going out early.
If you take 3 quarterbacks in the top 10, this
is going to be another one of those drafts where we're like,
can't do that.
Y'all do?
You can't do it. You can't do it. Somebody's got to be the Will Levis in this draft where they fall to the second round. Like that's the only way. Like that's the only way it makes sense. Like it was crazy for Anthony Richardson to go in the top 5. Like he shouldn't have, but Quinn Ewers should absolutely fall to the second half. He still needs a little work. The other two are ready to go right now.
Ready to go.
I take I said this in the chat last week. I said I would take Shador to be the guy to lead my team in the final drive of the game every fucking time. He's got that dog in him. He just knows how to make shit happen.
And he's got the temperament. He's calm. It doesn't phase him. Like Anthony, you're going to see like Shador is the real deal.
And he plays with a dog shit offensive line.
That's what I was about to say. The crazy thing is, I don't even think you've seen the best version of him because he's never had to play with time. If he gets to one of those teams that builds a line, but like I'll put it to you this way, Anthony, you know how good Jared Goff is playing right now? If you put Shador on the Lions, he'd be the exact same player. With the Lions offensive line, he'd be the exact same player.
Because he doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He is very much so like accurate, doesn't make mistakes. When it comes to that last drive of the game, it's Brady mode. That's his words, not mine. It's Brady mode. He goes through and he plays just like his fucking mentor does, except he can move a little better.
A lot
better. So that's why I was like, it's the worst kept secret of football is Shador is going to be a Raider. Tom Brady's got his hands all over that. And Vegas is going to be like sitting there doing his celebration the entire time, showing the rollie. And it's gonna be fucking awesome. And the Raiders fan and Anthony's gonna be sick because AOC won't be doing it. And he's like, put your fucking Rolex away. It's to be AOC's quarterback job.
I would be sick if AOC plays well the rest of the year and we still draft Shador.
If he plays well,
if AOC doesn't play well, then obviously I don't care. Huh?
The problem is there's certain people who like to put winning and losing as a quarterback stat. And in this situation, the organization will absolutely take winning and losing as a quarterback stat. And if you guys lose, no matter how good AOC plays, if you're not winning, he's not earning that job.
It is a quarterback stat.
Regardless, I'm not here to argue that. I'm just saying, no matter, Mike, do you think if AOC plays phenomenal and they still lose these games, you think he's safe?
I think he will be the bridge to Shador.
Exactly. Like they'll keep AOC.
If he plays phenomenal and we go 2-3-3-2, I think there's a possibility.
I mean, if you win out of a quarterback draft, then that's your own fault and you deserve everything you get, right? So if he does enough to fuck your draft order to where you guys can't pick a quarterback, you deserve everything you're going to get. Bringing your team from a 2-win team to a 4-win team isn't exactly like a great thing.
Let's break the bank for him.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
Because if he doesn't win, he's going to compete for that starting job with the number 1 quarterback taken off the board. And Tom Brady's going to be down there and he's going to say, AOC can't play. I drafted Shador Sanders.
He can't play like my godson can.
Yeah. Shador Sanders is the quarterback of this team. We picked him in the top 5 and he is the one. That's why we drafted him. And Anthony's gonna be sick because he lost another quarterback battle to Jimmy G, and then he lost to Gardner Minshew. Now he lost to Shador Sanders. Damn.
I don't know how we got on this draft talk. We were not supposed to open the show this way.
Shit happens.
Well, all our teams stink, so I mean, Mike, what do you expect?
I blame Anthony. Anthony's never wants to talk about the draft. Anthony doesn't want to talk football.
I don't. But I mean, listen, I was checking because again, I moved away from quarterbacks for a sec. I was looking at top O-line prospects. I saw Will Campbell there, so I'm like, you know what?
Don't worry about that. Anthony's trying to will himself to not have to pick a quarterback.
Yeah, Anything.
I don't want to pick a quarterback. I don't. We have other needs.
Having like two of the best quarterback prospects in the last decade come out, and he's just like, I don't want him.
Don't need
They
him.
said the same thing about Bryce Young, and he went to a Panthers team that
Bryce
had no
Young
talent
never
around him.
was a top quarterback prospect of the last decade. Never.
The shit they were saying about Bryce Young.
Never. Bryce Young never was considered a top quarterback prospect because he's too small.
I know.
He also,
we gotta roll back that tape. They were
he
talking.
was clearly the worst Alabama quarterback that came out in that 5 years.
I wouldn't go that far, Dylan, because I mean, he went number one for a reason. Like,
yeah, he
went number one for a reason.
Number one doesn't mean you're a generational talent.
I'm just saying what they were saying about him.
No, these guys go all that time, like all the time. He never was like up there with your Andrew Lucks, your Trevor Lawrences, like your Caleb Williams. He's not there. Caleb was outside of Sunshine was the last quarterback that came out, and I was like, he's probably the one.
and hey, not that chapter's still being written, but
That's still being written, but he's turned it around. So kudos to Caleb. Fucking that offensive coordinator, man, ever since he got fired, Caleb's fucking dealing. Granted, they lost on Thanksgiving because their fucking head coach being an idiot.
is an idiot.
Absolute idiot. Caleb playing NFL games like it's college still. Because he's sitting there like, oh, clock stopped. We got a first down. Clock stopped.
Like, bro, what are you like?
You can't I don't blame Caleb for that at all.
I do.
I don't. He's a rookie. That's your coach. You have to manage your clock.
Dylan, that rookie is not a valid excuse though, because
you can't do that.
It's not, because if that exact same thing happened in college and he was a senior, we would be like, he's a senior quarterback. He's got to know better.
Well, it's different in college. That the clock is stopped.
But what I'm saying is, it's still football. Like, Caleb knows the rules. Caleb knows the rules.
Well, so does the head coach.
It's both of them. It's Caleb, it's the head coach, and it's the offensive coordinator.
Well, the offensive coordinator can't call timeouts.
But he's in Caleb's ear.
Yeah, but only for a short amount of times. He got
all there's three of them that runs those plays. One of them has to know that this is taking too long. Because the coach and the offensive coordinator are still talking. Coach, we got to call timeout. Coach, we got to call timeout. Coach, we got to call timeout. We don't have it. We don't have, like, someone's got to be able to know.
Yeah, that's the head coach. I have it 70-30. I think it's Eberflus 70, Caleb 30.
That's fine. That's fine. But Caleb deserves blame in this.
A little bit, but like I give him very little blame on that, where it's just like.
And he had no urgency. When
again, I thought he was confused. I thought it was just he thought it was like the same as in college. He hasn't really been in that situation in the NFL. So like I will give him a pass because of how good he played in that game in that second half. But Eberflus is the one, like, you cannot be that bad managing your time. You cannot. You have that timeout. Use that timeout the second that pass is completed.
It doesn't even once he got sat once. All right, you want to try and run another play? That's fine. That's fine. But once this starts taking 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15
they had 15 seconds. Like, what are we doing?
That's when it's like, all right, what are we doing? That's why I'm like, Caleb even has to know. Like, I don't care about college. No, there's 30 seconds left in the game, and you got a timeout. You got to know that we need this time. Like, that's why that excuse doesn't fly. Like, it's still, regardless, college, pros, there's 30 seconds left. Call a timeout. Like, stop the clock. The clock is moving. Like, I mean, what are we doing?
But again, in college, that clock's not moving.
That clock would have been moving though, because
it would have been moving once they got the line set.
As soon as the referee said, Dylan, they were set. They were sitting there calling plays, trying to fix the line, doing all of this. Like,
there was a lot going on there.
There's a lot. Like, Caleb.
But again, the clock was ticking the entire time.
But so it would have just taken another.
The fact that they ran the single worst hurry up offense I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, I even
But that's
saw
all
on
on
one of the
coaches.
shows that they were saying that the center also deserves blame because
Yes.
none of them were moving. None of them had any type of urgency.
You can tell
None
they
of
just
them.
don't run hurry up offense.
Which is an indictment on the coach, which is why he had to get fired. And then
He had to get fired.
And then to come to the post game and be like, we did everything right. Yeah. When he said we did everything right, I knew right there that man's fired. That man's fired because the optics of that, there's no coming back from that. And that dumb statement, that man may never get a head coaching job again.
To be fair, he's never earned since he's been a head coach. I don't think he deserves one. Go back to being a defensive coordinator, Eberflus.
He's never going to get another one, and he's going to have to
he's
fight
gonna have
and
to be
call to get that coordinator job.
I mean, it's going to be the same thing. Well, Saleh will get a defensive coordinator job wherever the fuck he wants.
Saleh's going to get a defensive.
Saleh's going to be the Green Bay defensive coordinator.
Green Bay defensive coach next year.
Yeah,
like,
so he'll be fine. Saleh won't be able to get.
Unless he decides to take, I'm sure Carolina's going to have an opening. Cleveland might have
be a DC.
If he goes to Cleveland,
I think he wants to stick with his buddies. He wants to stick with LaFleur.
If he goes to Cleveland, that could be trouble.
That could be a problem. Could be a real problem.
If he goes to Cincinnati and the tools
brings
are
in
there,
his guys,
and he just has to fix that defense, that could be trouble too. Because
that could be a lot of trouble.
Evaluator too.
I don't think it's fair, but I think that Cincinnati coach that clock's ticking on him. I don't think it's fair, but I think it's going to get.
What do you mean you don't think it's fair?
He went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
That's 2 years ago.
Yeah, but then he had
3 years ago.
Quarterback injury.
Burrow got hurt last year. Burrow was hurt.
I think this year he gets past. Next year he does not.
Well, I've already heard whispers that they gotta if Cincinnati doesn't win another game, that man could be fired.
But yes,
he should be fired.
But if they're losing games because they have to score fucking 50 points,
that's why I wouldn't fire him.
That's why I can't fire him. I
wouldn't fire him, but
then he has 1 year to rehaul that goddamn defense.
Exactly, and I think they can do that.
1 year
if they bring in the right guy, they can do that.
But I'm telling you, if they don't win another game, I'm telling you, there's a real chance that he could get fired. There's a real chance
that Joe Burrow keeps trying to win every game by scoring $1 billion.
Or if Joe Burrow goes on his villain arc and throws that coach under the bus, he also will be fired.
Which I don't see that happening.
But what if we get the villain?
I don't know if Macaulay Culkin's got it in him.
If he turns into a villain, Dylan,
I don't think he will. I think he's got 1 more year. If they don't win another game and they're losing because the defense just can't win shit, but the offense is scoring like fucking 30 something a game, like they've been doing, then it's like I can't fire him. But you got 1 more year to figure it out to go hire the right guy. Because the Bengals are trying to be a good organization, so they're not going to fire anybody mid-season.
But when do you revert back to your old ways?
I don't know if Marvin Lewis is walking through that door at any point. So
Marvin Lewis would be a great coach for that team right now.
Yeah.
He'd be a great coach for them right now, which is funny.
But Marvin Lewis also was a head coach like 10 years too long. With the Bengals.
he never.
The crazy thing, like Marvin Lewis was literally head coach for like 17 years.
He held on to Carson Palmer and then they just never. I mean, as we found out, Carson Palmer just didn't have the clutch gene. Just didn't have it.
He also played in one of the toughest divisions in football, where two of the teams in that division won Super Bowls in Marvin Lewis's time.
I could make the argument that Cincinnati was just as good as both of them.
I would tell you no.
You don't think those Bengals teams were that good?
I don't think they were better than either the Steelers or the Ravens.
I think they had a
that is true.
I think they had a couple years where they
could
were.
compete. Defensively, they weren't close.
They had a couple years where they had a really good defenses.
They had a couple years, yeah, when they had fucking Geno Atkins, Ray Maluga, Taylor Mays, young Dre Kirkpatrick. Like they had guys, but it wasn't the same as the Steeler defense or the Ravens defense.
Just for them to never win a playoff game is rough for me.
I mean, who did they run into the last playoff game? The Steelers. So it is, and
So
he
why
had
did
to be
Marvin
fired
Lewis?
for that.
So why Marvin Lewis ain't coaching right now?
Oh, it's again. If Marvin Lewis would have been fired 5 years sooner, he would have had another gig. The problem is he was a head coach for so long, with not a lot of success in the postseason. The league kind of passes you by at some point.
I don't think the league passed him by.
I think so. Are you going to defend Hugh Jackson next?
No, Hugh has no people skills.
He was also a terrible coach.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that Hard Knocks where he brought both Baker and that other dude in to say, "Hey, y'all are competing for the second quarterback job." I'm like, "What are you fucking doing, Hugh? What are we fucking doing?"
like an idiot, man. Fucking idiot. All right, let's get this train back on the track. Let's train back on track. Josh Allen. Let's talk about Josh. Played in a snow globe against whatever's left of the San Francisco 49ers. And tore they butts up.
This San Francisco team
played touchdown, ran a touchdown, served food.
I can't believe this play here counts as a receiving touchdown. This play is a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I was like, that's a wild stat.
Did you know that actually Josh gets credit for the pass also?
Yes.
Like, that's crazy.
That's why I was like, what the fuck type of stat is that?
At least give Amari credit for the pass.
Something. Like, I'm not going to try to take anything away. This was a very much so great on the fly play.
That's a great play.
Great on the fly play by Amari Cooper right there. Like,
great play.
Nobody's going to tell me that was planned. If you are, you're lying. Like, you're absolutely lying. Because Anthony's going to try to say, nope, it was designed that way. No, it was not designed that way.
Although the Chiefs did run a designed play like that with Kelsey.
Kelsey also does that shit without Andy Reid knowing. Kelsey is many a time.
I think the one that they ran this week was designed.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it was
I don't know. I think they're just great time. I think it's just like perfect timing. I don't think
this
it's like
was not planned though. I agree.
No,
this
not.
Was on the fly, which makes it that much more great.
This San Francisco team looked like they never played in cold weather before.
No, ever.
Like, I'm watching this. I'm like, they have no idea what's going on. They don't want to be here.
They don't want to be. I was watching this with my girlfriend, and she was like, "Man, how come they're slipping and sliding all over the place?" I was like, "Because they're coming
California
from San
boys."
Francisco." And she was like, "Oh." And I was like, just like the Dolphins, when we watched the Dolphins, and I told you that they wasn't used to that cold. It's the same. She was like, "Yep." She said they looked worse in that snow and cold than the Dolphins, and I agreed.
Yeah,
I agreed.
They look like the only person who looked like they came to play in for San Fran was Fred Warner.
Debo came to play too.
Debo fucking up a few times.
He did.
Debo was trying. He was trying, but there came a point where he was just like, "I'm done."
Them dudes look checked out, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And Buffalo just steamrolled them.
And the worst part is, this Niner team might be done.
I think the window
closed.
They are done.
The window's closed.
The window closed.
CMC's done for the year. Jordan Mason's done probably for the year.
Again, San Fran's going to find running backs.
I'm so glad that it was a PCL because, man, I thought the worst.
Oh yeah. Once I saw his knee buckle, I was like, oh, that's not his Achilles. So thank God.
When did you see the replay from behind and you saw how his leg like quivered and exploded basically?
Yeah.
Oof. But yeah, I think the window's closed. They got to retool.
They have, and you can't do that with Purdy.
This core is done,
and you can't do it with Purdy. Like Debo has to get traded.
Yeah, Debo's gonna go.
Debo's contract is the only one you can move.
Yeah,
because you just paid Ayuk.
You just paid Trent Williams.
You just paid Christian McCaffrey. And
I forgot Ayuk. The Niners are so banged up.
Or some of the guys on defense got to go because they just paid Nick Bosa.
He's also done for the
year. I don't know what it is. Like this offense just doesn't look good. The defense it's creaky. It's leaking.
They're banged up beyond belief. They're absolutely just destroyed by injuries.
The defense is absolutely hurt, and that's
offense is hurt too.
Yeah, but
they are injured.
They are injured, but this goes back to what I've been saying about Brock Purdy. Like literally since he came in, I was like, he's in the perfect situation where he's got all-time left tackle, all-time running back, great weapons all around him. When those weapons start to go, what is Brock Purdy going to do? Because he's been spoiled with riches. And he's been able to hide behind a lot of that talent. And now that talent is out, and he has to be that next level quarterback.
He's Superman, and
he
can't
do that.
I see an average quarterback.
This is why they should have kept Trey Lance.
Trey Lance can't even get on the field. I watched Trey Lance a couple weeks ago. I was like, boy, he's fucking bad. Like, Trey Lance is not better than Brock Purdy. I stand on that. He's not better than Brock Purdy. Me, as the Brock Purdy hater, right? All I'm seeing now is exactly what I've been telling you guys for fucking years at this point.
Listen, I'll give it to you. You're right. At the end of the day, while I don't think he's awful quarterback, and yes, it is tough for any quarterback to deal with the amount of losses he's dealt with, he still has been relatively just average. And he was supposed to be in a position where he can at least keep this team competitive, given the losses, and he hasn't done that. He just hasn't done that. He hasn't shown up. And it's like, we're talking $60 million a year. Quarterback? No.
And he's with
he's
the
not.
play caller. He's with the play caller.
Yeah.
Like, you still have to be able to make something happen.
Yeah, you gotta show some life at the end of the day. And he just hasn't done that. When you're talking $60 million a year, you gotta do something.
So you gotta figure it out, Brock. You are just an average quarterback.
And the sad thing is they're still gonna pay him.
They have to.
You kind of have to. That's the problem here. Who are you gonna get that's better?
It's the same situation Dallas was in. They have to pay that. Like, I don't know why we did all this song and dance. They had to pay that. They were not going to go get anyone better than him at all. And San Francisco is not going to go get anyone better than him. So, unless they can swindle the Raiders and draft and trade Purdy and go get Shador, they're not going to get anyone better than him. Unless they go get Aaron Rodgers, unless the Jets.
Sam Darnold couldn't beat Brock Purdy for the job when he was there.
But he's looking good right now.
Sam Darnold's also in a great situation.
Dylan, he's playing very
He's playing well. I'm not taking anything away from Sam Darnold's year. But, like, we can't allow 1 year to distract us from everything we already know.
But to be fair, though, Dylan, this is that 1 year for Brock Purdy, which we're seeing him not play up to his supposed potential without these weapons. This is Brock Purdy's 1 year.
It's just crazy that I'm the only one who already saw this, because I know what Shanahan is. I saw him do this with Jimmy Garoppolo.
But then, would you not say it would make sense for the Niners to say, "Hey, we don't want to give Brock all this money. He ain't really worth it. Hey, Sam Darnold only wants 4 years, 130. Here you go, Sam.
From a business side, like, yeah, I understand that. But whatever Brock's getting, Sam's going to get. They're going to get the same contract.
I don't think so because Brock has that Super Bowl resume. At the end of the day, he has just more on his resume. Sam's not going to get paid like that.
Who's to say Sam's not going to the Super Bowl this year?
Sam Darnold?
You don't think
That
the Vikings can
Vikings
get to
really
the Super Bowl?
No.
They can. I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't count them out.
I can see
if it's gonna be a team from the North, it's gonna be the Lions and the Packers.
Again, I wouldn't count any that.
I wouldn't count
out
the
of
Vikings
anything.
out.
Because especially with those division games where those teams hate each other
and know each other. And out of the 3 NFC North teams, I'm going to be honest with you, I think the Vikings match up with the Eagles better than the other 2. The Vikings are scary teams.
No, I think the Lions and the Vikings can beat Philly.
The problem with the Lions is that their defense is absolutely just cratering with injuries, like every single 5 minutes. Like that's my only concern about the Lions is that can they keep this team upright, or at least the defense upright, come playoff time.
I think
they did get Jamal Adams
to make up for all of that. I think to make up for all that, I don't think the Eagles are going to be able to apply pressure on that line.
I think the Eagles are frauds.
You said frauds? Both of you.
Was that?
I think the Eagles are Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
they really are. I just don't see this menacing. I don't find the Eagles to be a threat. I'm sorry.
If you keep Saquon in check, which is a very difficult thing to do, like the Eagles are going to have a hard time. It's just they are very. I don't want to say lucky because that sounds like I'm discrediting everything they're doing, but they're in a very fortunate situation that they have Saquon, who is top 3 in MVP right now.
Their defense is playing top 5 defense in football.
Their defense is playing good right now. I don't know how long to expect that, but shout out to Quinyon Mitchell, shout out to Cooper DeJean, shout out to Reed Blankenship and all those guys. They're balling.
Yeah, their defense is legit.
Playing well. Jordan Davis, what's his face up there? Jalen Carter. They're all playing really well. Brandon Graham tore his tricep a couple weeks ago. That sucks for him. But they're playing well. I want to see them up against
what else do they have to do? A good team?
No. I want to see them against like the Lions and the Vikings. That's what I want to see. I would love to see that because clearly this Ravens team's got a lot more going on than we all thought initially. Because that Deontay Johnson trade when it happened, we're like, oh, this is great. And it turns out Deontay Johnson's just a big old baby.
Not that he's immature. But the Eagles are not going to play those teams, Dylan. Like,
I think the Eagles need home field throughout the NFC. I think the Eagles need home field throughout the NFC.
Yeah, if the Eagles have to play away, I think they're going to be in trouble.
I don't
trust them in Detroit.
If the Eagles, the Eagles still have to play the Steelers and the Commanders. But other than that, they play the Panthers this week. They still got the Cowboys and the
well, they're gonna be
a rejuvenated Panthers team.
Oh yeah, right.
Pick them then, Anthony. Pick them later.
Yeah, pick the Panthers against the Eagles. He will. No, out of spite, he will. Remember when he picked the Panthers against the Chargers?
Hey, Mike, you already bet against Bryce Young. You lost. All right.
Listen, he almost redeemed himself because I had my fingers ready to type when Carolina was about to beat Tampa Bay, and that was Rodgers' 3-point pick. I was ready to go. Ready to go.
I wanted them to win, but then I didn't want them to win because then Anthony's going to keep going with this fucking nonsense about Bryce Young and CJ Stroud.
It is nonsense.
These publications, they must be nonsense too.
Yes. Everybody's
sports publications must be nonsense too.
Yes. Again, the sports world tries to pay people off of 1 year and take small sample sizes and make them much larger than they actually are. Stupid people like that are the reason why Daniel Jones got the contract they got, and it's why Saquon Barkley's running wild in Philly.
That's very true. Everything you said was true. But again, who's playing better right now? It's Bryce Young. That's the fact.
It's marginal.
He's not. He's not like right now at this very moment. Bryce Young's not playing better than C.J. Stroud
over a 4-game stretch.
Because he had a better game last week.
What are you talking about, Mike? Over a couple games. Have you been watching the Panthers or the Texans this year? Come on, man. C.J. Stroud has had a good year all year. He hasn't played all year. What are we talking about?
Bryce Young got banned.
He hasn't played. Bryce Young has had better games than C.J. Stroud. He literally has. C.J. Stroud has not had a good year. Every single way you turn, sophomore slump. C.J. Stroud.
The problem is
C.J. Stroud. How many? Dylan, I can show you guys. I can show you guys at least 6 reports telling you about how C.J. Stroud can't make the throws he's been making his first year. He can't. He's not doing the things he did his first year. It's all over the place. Unless you guys have been just oblivious to it. Why? Please tell me.
His clock is fucked up because his offensive line's dog shit.
Trash. C.J. Stroud
that matters
in the league.
The same thing they were crucifying Bryce Young for.
I'm not crucifying Bryce Young for anything, right? Besides, like, his earlier season play was horrendous. He was horrendous. Like, you were trying to tell me before these last 2 games of Bryce Young that the Panthers might draft a quarterback when I was telling you they're not doing it, they're fine. You tried.
And I said if Bryce Young plays well, which he has, they ain't drafting no quarterback.
They were never going to move on from him. That's the problem that you're failing to realize. They were never going to move on from him because he wasn't the problem. There's too many other problems on that team to just pinpoint quarterback being the problem. You put any young quarterback in that situation, they were failing, right? Bryce Young in the first 3 games of the year before he got benched deserved to be benched. He was bad. He couldn't make throws. He was actually throwing the ball to the other team on purpose, it seemed. It was horrendous.
No, I'm not denying that, but all I'm saying is because I feel like we're talking about 2 different things. If we're talking about this upcoming Sunday, if you had to put a quarterback in that starting position, Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, who are you putting in that starting position?
C.J. Stroud 10 out of 10 times.
C.J. Stroud because Bryce Young is.
You guys are delusional right now.
Delusional, I'm not. You're taking it in a vacuum.
What part of right now do you not understand? I'm not talking about the first 4 weeks. I'm talking about right now. Can we focus on right now for 2 seconds? You keep talking about the whole season and week 1 through 5. I'm talking about, right now, as in today, Wednesday, and then I'm talking about this Sunday. That's wild.
I'm still taking CJ
because I'm literally. You guys keep going back to the season. I'm talking about literally right now, as in Wednesday.
Right.
And yeah, keep saying no. But what about season?
2024 season.
I'm talking about right now, as in this day, this week. No, I'm talking about week 13. Week 13, you're taking
what year?
CJ Stroud.
In what year season? 2024.
Yes, week 13, as in right now, this week.
Taking CJ Stroud.
Anthony, last week,
fucking crazy.
CJ Stroud went 22 of 34 for 242 and a touchdown.
Bryce Young went 24 to 42?
What? No, we're not going to do the numbers. CJ Stroud did not have a good game.
Yes, he did. He actually did have a
No,
good game.
He didn't.
What are you talking about?
Okay, let me show you all the missed throws he had. All right? And how how stink ass Mac Jones almost led Jacksonville to beat the fucking Texans. All right, get out of here with that shit.
CJ Stroud play defense.
CJ Stroud's been awful.
CJ Stroud plays defense.
No, he doesn't. But he was missing throws. He was missing throws.
Bryce Young didn't miss a single throw.
I'm not saying he didn't miss a single throw, but CJ Stroud was definitely missing throws.
4 times in that fucking game.
CJ Stroud's been overthrowing people all year.
So has Bryce Young too. Bryce Young too. Oh, now we want to talk about all year. Let's talk about all year for real now. Who got benched this year?
Okay, yes, Bryce Young got benched, but he's also had a better sample size of good games than CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud has literally played either mediocre or average all year.
That's
What was his signature game
right
this year?
now. That's what Bryce Young
No,
is doing
what was
right
his?
now.
What was no? What was CJ Stroud's signature game this year?
Buffalo?
What was the stat line in Buffalo?
Let me go pull it
I
up.
get it for you. I get it for you. I got it up right now. 28 of 38 for 331, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
That's his signature game.
Yeah, because he drove them to win, and then they got the stop in the end zone on Josh Allen.
Why are you talking about the stop and end zone on Josh Allen? He doesn't play defense.
I said he had the game-winning drive, and then the defense got the
Why?
stop.
He doesn't play defense. Why you mention
that drive? If they don't score on that drive before, the defense can't get the stop.
But let me make this very clear to you. I don't want to hear it.
Mac Jones.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
All of Bryce Young's signature drives come in losses, except for what, the last week?
Oh my God!
You're giving Bryce Young all this credit, and they lose.
I can't wait for the Texans to face the Chiefs. I want to see how they do against Kansas City. That's going to be fun to watch.
Again, everybody plays different against other teams. It doesn't change the fact that if we're talking this season, Bryce Young has only played good in 4 games. And not even
how many games does CJ Stroud play good in? How many games does CJ Stroud play like good in? Like good.
The same level of Bryce Young? Probably 10 games. Because remember, Bryce Young got benched. Bryce Young got benched.
So that's why we're talking. So that's why we're talking to Bryce. So that's why we're literally talking about a Bryce Young resurgence, and we're talking about how CJ Stroud has played pretty much mediocre all year.
CJ Stroud.
So it's crazy to me how all these sports analysts. It's crazy how all these sports analysts don't know what they're talking about. It's crazy how all these sports analysts just don't know what they're talking about.
I think it's absurd to be crucifying a second-year quarterback who set the bar so incredibly high that him having an average season as a sophomore is fucking mediocre.
How is it mediocre? He's top 5 in passing yards in football right now.
You know who else is top 5 in passing yards?
Is it Bryce Young?
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith is
having
a top 50
year.
Quarterback.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Geno Smith is ask Seattle fans what they think of Geno Smith right now. All right, it's not that great.
Geno Smith is a superstar, right? But he's an average quarterback who's having an above average year in the throwing yards aspect. Absolutely, but he's an average quarterback. CJ Stroud went from having a superstar rookie year to an average year. The problem is, if CJ Stroud would have started off with the average year and then went to that superstar year, we'd be having a completely different conversation. Right? Completely different conversation. But since he started off superstar and is having a average year, now it's this fucking massive problem. It's not this massive problem. He's a second-year quarterback. It's the same way I'm not crucifying Bryce Young for being horrible his fucking rookie year and having a horrible first half of this year, right? Bryce Young has played worse in more games this year than he did play good. That's what you're failing to realize. You say, oh, how many good games did CJ Stroud play in?
But what you're saying is, what you're failing to realize is that his good sample size is right now. His bad was before. That's why we're talking about a resurgence. That's why we're talking about a resurgence. You keep hearing that word floating around.
There's no resurgence. You have to have already emerged to resurge. You have to start off somewhere, fall back down, and then go back in. He never emerged. This is an emergence.
They're talking about...
There was never... What positivity, besides these last 4 weeks, has Bryce Young put in anybody in the NFL for him to think that he is a good quarterback? Because, again,
when they're saying
you are the person who tried to tell me the Panthers would move on to go get a quarterback if they continue to do what they were doing.
Because he was awful. He was awful before these 4 weeks. He was brutal.
So this isn't a conversation.
When I say resurgence, they're talking about college Bryce Young. That's what they're talking about. So they expected college
Bryce Young. He was
what?
Not amazing. college Bryce Young was not amazing.
Hey, that's not what I heard.
Somebody has to be the best. Like, somebody has to be the best quarterback in college coming out, right? It happens every year. Like, college Bryce Young was not this amazing quarterback, right? He won the Heisman. He probably shouldn't have won the Heisman. There was two other people who definitely deserved the Heisman more than him, and he shouldn't have got it. CJ Stroud being one of those people. But hey, like, it's just like in that Kenny Pickett draft. Somebody had to go first. Somebody had to be the first quarterback of that draft.
Oh Lord.
Granted, Bryce Young better than Kenny Pickett, but still, like, there always has to be somebody who goes one. Like, the expectations for a guy who's 5'10" to be a fucking elite NFL quarterback, not great. Not great. 5'10" quarterback, small hands with average arm talent, not great. So, like, we can't sit here, like, we can't just recreate history for the sake of an argument like most of these people are doing. Like what do? We can't do that. We need to stop acting like that. It's not fair. That's not fair to Bryce Young. Because, yeah, he was a good college quarterback, but he never did shit in the pros. So he still had to emerge. And this 4-game stretch, it's not the end-all, be-all of his career, because tomorrow he could go, or on Sunday, he could go out there and be fucking ass. And then it's going to be a whole different conversation. Like, oh, maybe I jumped the gun on Bryce Young. Maybe we just let Bryce Young just grow, right? Let him become a quality NFL quarterback. And maybe we let CJ Stroud get through his sophomore year where he overachieved as a rookie quarterback, accelerated a rebuild by playing at a superstar level. Let's chill. Let's let these guys grow before we start killing them. Just like I wasn't killing Bryce Young the entire time of his career. Where it's like, let him rock. Like, that team stinks. Ownership stinks. Management stinks. Coach stinks. Let him. He's going to be fine. Let them figure it out. I think it's crazy that we're even comparing the two, because one has already done significantly more than the other. And then overrating 4 games versus the entire season is wild. People need to leave the second-year quarterbacks alone. Let them rock. Because even with CJ Stroud having an average year in the term of playing quarterback, below average compared to his rookie season, they're still number 1 in their fucking conference, in their division.
I ain't saying much.
They're still going to make the playoffs.
Have you seen that division?
They're going to host a playoff game.
Have you seen that division?
They're going to lose to Lamar Jackson, but
Listen,
still.
Bryce Young's Panthers team is not good. He did not help at all in the first half of the year when he was playing and then got benched because, he was playing terrible. And then, like, even that game, that Giant game, he played better, but there was still a lot of shit where it's like, oh my God, he almost fucked that up. Like, we can't sit here and be like, oh, criticize Stroud for every throw, but then only praise CJ Stroud. Praise Bryce Young, even though he also was missing a ton of throws. Like,
I'm putting a Will Spinner 4 packs of Gatorade on that Texas playoff game.
That they host a Texan game?
No, that they lose the game. They lose that. That they lose that game.
Why don't you put a wheel spin on the fucking Panthers playoff game? Oh, right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, we could.
I know we're not about to be giving fucking Houston fucking credit for winning this dog shit fucking AFC South. We got the fucking you got the mediocre ass Indiana Colts. You got the Titans and the Jaguars, who are literally the fucking definition of basement dwellers. Come on, man.
Somebody got to win it.
Let's not give you.
Somebody got to win it.
Playing so good. The Panthers have the Eagles, Cowboys, Cardinals, Bucks, and Falcons.
How many
They're
of those games
not
they
going to
win
win another game.
Wait, what was that? They're not winning in Philly. I know that.
Eagles, Cowboys,
they might
Cardinals.
They could beat the Cowboys.
Falcons.
I think they could beat the Falcons.
No.
They're not winning another game.
They might beat the Cowboys.
We'll see.
They might be the Cowboys. But you might see Bryce Young take a little bit of a go back a little bit. Especially that Eagle game. He's not gonna play well in that Eagle game.
Yeah, listen, I don't expect much from him this week. It's a tough assignment for him.
Oh my God! So going into this, you picking to play quarterback.
I would have the same low expectation for CJ Stroud facing this Eagles defense. All right, so let's not get it twisted.
And I can tell you who I'd take.
Yeah, one loses by 20, the other one loses by what, 15?
Yeah, and that'll be CJ Stroud losing by 15. Silly conversation.
Silly.
CJ Stroud stinks.
What is Bryce Young then?
He's Bryce Young.
One of these guys got benched. Reminder. Reminder. One of these guys got benched.
And one of these guys, as of right now, is playing better. I mean, I'm saying it's analysts are saying it, but apparently we're just delusional.
Analysts, let me tell you, they're fucking dumb. They're fucking dumb.
I mean, I don't know why is it a crime to sit here and be like, okay, as of recent, one quarterback has been playing better than the other. How does that not matter? I don't understand how that doesn't matter. Like, it's so wild to me.
Because
like,
we forget the body of work for a 4-week span.
4 weeks is a good amount of time.
No, it's not. No, it's not. 4 weeks is not.
It's
if
not.
that's the case, let's go by the first 4 weeks of the season.
But again, that doesn't make any sense. We're talking about we're talking about recent. We're talking about right now.
I'm talking
The
about
first 4 weeks. In the first 4 weeks, I don't think either one of them were that good. And then as you see as the season progressed, one stayed the same. One got benched, but then what?
Didn't the
What?
Texans start off
Uh,
I don't.
let me go
I don't remember.
I got it.
I have the
it.
scores up.
They started out 3-1.
Yeah.
He threw 230, 260, 215, 345.
Okay. You're just listing a bunch of numbers. You're doing that thing Dylan does, where it's just like just post a bunch of numbers with no context.
We're talking about who played better.
He played good against the Colts. He didn't play.
You can't just say pass guard and be like he did good. That's no context, Mike. You can't just put up a bunch of numbers and say he played good. That's that no context shit, man.
He did not play well against Minnesota. He played really well against Jacksonville. He played really well against Baltimore.
Oh, that's hard to do.
He played really well against New England.
Oh my God.
And then he got hurt against Green Bay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he did. Now let's go against the Panthers. Let's see how Bryce Young did.
Oh, look at those Panthers teams that they face.
The Panthers, the Saints, they lost 47-10.
Yeah, a Saints team that was healthy and had all the weapons.
Bryce Young, 13 for 30, 161 yards, 2 interceptions.
Yeah. Who the Texans face week 1 again?
Who did the Texans face week 1? Oh, the Colts?
Yeah, my point.
Let's go to
keep going.
Falcons. Wait, no, this is 23. Let me go to 24. Preseason Saints. So then they played the Chargers. They lost 26-3. Bryce Young went 18 for 26 for 84 yards and an interception. He couldn't even hit 100.
Very good Chargers team.
He couldn't hit 100 yards, Anthony.
Chargers is a very good team.
100 yards.
Chargers are a very good team.
100 yards? You can't throw for 100 yards?
Chargers are a very good team.
I've seen fourth-string quarterbacks come into games and throw for 100 yards.
Chargers are a very good team.
He got benched after that.
Okay,
game.
the Chargers are a good team, man.
I mean, Dylan, you told me how great the Chargers were early in the year. So
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
yeah, you did.
No, I
I was the one who said. I was the one who said I think this Chargers team's awful, and you're like, no, this Chargers team is actually pretty good.
I said I think they're better than you think they are, but again, you can't throw for 100 yards in an NFL game as a starting NFL quarterback.
And O'Connell didn't do that, and look what he did this time against the Chiefs.
And O'Connell didn't throw for 100 yards.
I don't think he that game last year. I don't think he threw for 100, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, he did not. He did not. He did not. And that's absolutely an indictment on him. Oh man, that fucking stinks. At least I'm being consistent. You gotta throw for 100 yards in a game. Granted, CJ Stroud did have 2 more completions than him. And then he got benched. When did he come back? When did Andy Dalton was that? When did Bryce Young come back? Was it the Giant game?
I can't remember. I think it was.
He came back. Oh, there's the Saints. So let me see.
I think it was the Saints. It was at home against the Saints.
It wasn't the Broncos. No, he was there for the Broncos. So let me see if he was there for the Commanders. No, that was Andy Dalton's last game. Boy, was that a fucking stinker. God, was that a fucking stinker. So for the Broncos, he went 24 for 37, 224, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Oh yeah, it was the Broncos. Then it was the Saints.
That's not good. Then we go to the Saints. They won that game. Bryce Young, 16 for 26, 171, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's also not very good.
Yeah, but again, this is where we got to add context here, Dylan. That one interception, we all saw. You remember that interception? Don't tell me you don't remember that interception.
Saints, no, I don't.
So that interception was absolutely. No, it was the Saints one. That was when he literally threw it into the receiver's arms because we're talking about his drops. That's wide receiver drops, another conversation. He threw it right into his arms, and then the Saints player literally snatched it right out of his arms.
Oh, I remember that.
Like literally.
Somebody got to get the interception.
that was complete total bullshit.
Bryce Young against the Giants, 15 for 25, 126 and a touchdown. That's just bad football by both teams. Like, he played fine, but that's bad football by both teams. The Chiefs game is where he picked it up, actually. 21 for 35, 263 and a touchdown. And the Bucks, he was 26. Oh my God, 26 for 46, 298 and a touchdown. So even still, so he really only played like 2 weeks. 2 out of the last 4 weeks are like good football.
I disagree. I think that Saints game he played well. That Saints game, he's
171, a touchdown, interception. That's
And again, the interception wasn't on him because again, we gotta like because yeah, but you can't just say like, oh, here's his numbers. He didn't play well. No, like if you watch the game, there were several. Was
an interception thrown?
You can't no, but you can't do that. See, you can't do this no context. I'm just gonna point out numbers shit. That's irresponsible, Dylan. You can't.
But this is what I said.
That's irresponsible.
That's what I said.
That's irresponsible.
If the interception is not a quarterback's fault, who gets the interception?
Interception, most of the time, is the quarterback's fault. That pick was not Bryce Young's fault. You can't be like, oh, well, Bryce Young had an interception. He didn't play well.
It's whether it's his fault or not. Did the other team get the ball?
The other team got the ball.
Did he throw the ball?
Yes, he threw the ball. Is it his fault? His fucking receiver literally caught the ball and then I just allowed the defender to just snatch it out of him. Is that his fault?
Was an interception for Bryce Young.
It does, unfortunately.
That's all I'm saying.
But then you can't.
It is what it is.
But again, you also have to ask yourself, what can he do better in that situation? If I'm throwing it right to you, and then somebody just runs up to you and just takes it away from you, like
you throw the ball at the body instead of the hands, or you throw the ball out of bounds. Again, I'm only being consistent with you because I say this to Mike all the time. I know the interceptions aren't all like the same, but somebody has to get credit for it. And whether you're the quarterback who throws the football or not, it is. If you threw the football and it ends up in the hands of the other person, you have to take blame on that.
But how much blame is the point?
How much blame? I'm not killing Bryce Young for it, but he got a turnover. And that affects how you look at the game. If anything, I'm being extremely consistent on my point on that. And not just doing it for the sake of argument. So I stand up, out of the last 4 weeks of football, Bryce Young has really only played two really good games. The Giant game was an average game, and the Saints game is also an average game. 171, a touchdown and an interception, whether he threw the interception on purpose or not.
I don't think he played that bad at Denver. When you take into account the Broncos defense, I don't think he played that bad against them.
But now we're changing how we're looking at games for the sake of our argument.
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah, because if that was CJ Stroud, you'd be saying he sucks.
But then again, you also factor in weapons, Dylan. Let's not act like Bryce Young has a shit ton to throw to. His best wide receiver one is Adam Thielen. Like, what the fuck?
He's had his healthy wide receivers all year. He hasn't.
But even when he was missing, who was out? I know. What's his name?
And Nico Collins. Both
and Tank Dell is still. And just having Tank Dell is still better than anything Bryce Young is throwing to. Unless you're going to say Adam Thielen is better than Tank Dell. So Adam Thielen is better than Tank Dell?
If Tank Dell was better than like we think he is, they wouldn't have ran out to get Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Like, Tank Dell is fine. He's an average receiver. He's not this great receiver.
He's a 3. He's a 2. He's a 2.
He's not. 2. I don't think he's 2. I think
he's a 2. He's a 3 on this team.
I think he's a 3 on most teams. I think he's a 3 in Carolina too, because I don't think he's better than Leggett. I don't think he's better than Leggett, and he's not better than Thielen. He's just fast as shit. Like, he's good, but I don't think Tank Dell is like this world beater that Anthony's trying to make him out to be.
He was cooking. That man was cooking.
It's not by much. And he lost Joe Mixon for a couple weeks as well. Who that running game is what was really getting everything going for Houston before Joe Mixon went out. Because that San Fran team, that Houston team runs a similar San Francisco style offense where everything is started with the run. And that offensive line's dog shit.
All right. I'll let Anthony. I disagree with you, but I'm not going to let you in. You made your.
No, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
I'm not gonna get here and run in circles for another hour. We still have like 3 more topics to go through. And we also need to bring Breezy in here, who's been very patient.
I hope he's not. Can somebody check on him, make sure he ain't asleep?
He's been very patient, waiting for us. He's here. He's here.
Okay.
But I specifically wanted to bring him in on this topic because even though it is a football topic, it's just a topic. Like, let's bring Breezy in. Breezy, welcome to the show. I don't have
Super Saiyan Breezy.
There you go, Dylan. Because I didn't have the our studio audience wasn't ready. So there you go.
Check out what I got.
All right,
I
let's
wanted
take a
you
look.
to watch this hit, James. This hit had the chat. I think you saw us, me and Roz, in real time. Were going crazy when this happened, and this is the play.
He got fucked up.
Shout out to the Jaguars players. Them
Shout out to the
O-linemen
Jaguars.
dragging him to the Jaguars line and fucking trying to beat the shit out of him. Because, boy, that is a nasty fucking hit. Nasty.
He got fucked up.
So for that hit and this fight that went on afterwards, that this clip is not doing it justice. This fight went on for like a good few minutes. Yeah, like this went on for a few minutes. Like that player, James, got suspended for 3 games, which in real time I said he should have got suspended. I was thinking 1 game, maybe 2. 3 to me was excessive until I saw that he has a rap sheet.
Well, I saw a video of him fucking strangling Tom Brady.
Yeah, he has a and I thought he was familiar when they played the Titans a couple weeks ago. He had a dirty hit on Tony Pollard out of bounds. And I remember that play because I thought that was a dirty play. And come to find out that it was him. And then I found out this week that the NFL warned the Texans and warned him 7 times about, this is him on the Niners.
God damn.
He got fined for that.
Ref, he told me.
That was earlier this year.
Yeah, I didn't know this was a whole rap sheet of this man. Oh, bam! I forgot about that.
I would never understand players punching helmets. Like, you can't. Whatever.
Listen, James, that didn't feel good. I can tell you, this is the hit I saw against Tennessee. Watch this. Bang! Like,
God damn.
That's a late hit. And then, like, I'm stunned that this has sent the NFL world on fire because if you go on Sports Talk, James, and because all these former players are defending him. It's a bang bang play. Trevor Lawrence slid late. What else is he supposed to do? He wasn't trying to hurt him. I heard a whole bunch of he's a good dude. He's a nice guy. Blah, blah, blah. No. That is a dirty play. He knew exactly what he was doing when he did that. That's the reason that he led with his forearm. He knew exactly what he was trying to do. Do I think he meant to knock Sunshine out for the season? Because, James, to give you an update, he's out for the season. He got put on injured reserve today for the concussion. He's going to be out for 4 games. There's only 1 game after that, and the Jaguars have the worst record in football. So he's not coming back. Like, his season is over.
I mean, when you say it like that, you make it seem a lot worse because if you say it's only 1 game, if he was going to miss 1 game, he was out for the rest of the season. So when you say he's out for the season, it makes it seem a lot more worse, especially like for someone that doesn't know about the sport. Like when you say he's out for the season, I'm like, oh shit, he's out for the season. Then you go, oh, it's only 1 game.
17 games.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that Trevor Lawrence is out for the season because he's eligible to come back with 1 game left in the season. And Jacksonville has the worst record in football, and they're not going to start their franchise quarterback in a game that literally means nothing to them.
Their season is over anyway.
Off of a
bad concussion. So,
but their season is over.
Their season's over. So season's over anyway.
All right. So I'm looking at the replay. This is my first time seeing it. I've heard about it, but this is my first time seeing it. His reaction time is bad. Him hitting people is bad. It's bad. His reaction is bad. His timing is bad. But also, what I can say is you got no one to blame for these type of hits happening besides Kansas City Chiefs. What's the quarterback?
With Mahomes, Patty.
Mahomes.
Him with his fake slides and continue to run and running out of bounds. People don't know when to hit quarterbacks, whether if they're going to slide or not. And now also starting in college with that player that they banned him from doing that.
Oh, Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
That translated to the NFL too. You can't do the fake slide anymore.
Exactly. So it's like, do you hit a player? Do you let them slide? So it's like it seems like a gray area. That was a dirty hit though. And if he has history of having dirty hits, then you start to penalize a player because of his past, kind of similar to like a Draymond Green type of thing. But like, I don't know. That's tough.
No, I see what you're saying because going back to what Mike said about like how some people are defending this. It's a lot of people who have defensive backgrounds, like J.J. Watt, um, Richard Sherman, like people like that. Yeah, So I can see where they're coming from. Where it's like the game today's game has just made it too hard for people to play defense. I mean, how many times a week do we see horrendous? Yeah, how many times a week do we see horrendous pass interference calls, roughing the passer calls?
That's every sport.
Like, you see it every single week.
It's harder and harder for the defensive player to play defense, and they make it easier to play offense.
Look at the fucking NBA. Every goddamn score is like 125 to 133. Not too long ago, the scores used to be like 93 to 87, and that would be the end of the game. Now it's fucking teams are just scoring 130 like it's no one's business.
I hate to break it to you, Anthony, but it was too long ago.
Yeah,
they were doing
that. It's been a while now. They've been running the
like that for over a
like
decade now.
Yeah, nah, but I'm really all for just like the NBA really making some changes because I'm not a fan of these high scores, to be honest.
I don't think they're gonna change it though. I'm with you though. I think that they need to allow.
I'm really not a fan of it. I think the product's gotten worse from the NBA.
So back to this, I see where all the older defenders are coming from because they played in an era like the era of football I grew up watching was Ryan Clark like torpedoing Willis McGahee. Literally going parallel to the ground and just laying him out. Like all these dudes putting their body in harm's way to make the hit. So like I can see where they're all coming from. Like and I see the point James making about like the fake slide, but that's a rule now. You can't do that. Like so now that's a rule. It just goes back to Aziz just being like horrible timing, like James said. Like you have to, if you're going to go for that tackle, you have to go for the tackle because the quarterbacks are going to show you when they're going to give themselves up.
Yeah,
you have your quarterbacks like Anthony Richardson, like Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson that know they're going to run for you and try to inch forward, leaning forward for the yards, or the ones like Mahomes and Stafford and all those other guys who are going to give themselves up in the slide. Trevor Lawrence was not going to do that. He was going to give himself up once he saw it.
Yeah.
And once you see him go down, you have to then, while you're in that tackling motion, try to abort mission.
Yeah, jump over. What I do see from this player, from those clips that you showed, I see him, even if it's like a blown play where it's not going to affect the play. He's out there trying to show effort, but it's all in bad timing. It's like you're trying to show effort by hitting this guy in the lower back to get him out of bounds. Like he was going out of bounds. This is all like
that's just part of like through the whistle.
You're trying to show effort after this quarterback was getting the first down where you guys are trying to hold them. and he was sliding, but you couldn't slow yourself down. It's like it's all in bad timing, you know. But
I
Needs to be
hear
better.
I hear what you're saying, Dylan, about the old player, and they're back in my day we could do that. That didn't make it okay then either. And
No.
listen, I love Ryan Clark on
Yes, it
TV. The Pivot is a great show. He's good on ESPN. Let's keep a spade a spade. Ryan Clark was a dirty player.
Yes.
He was a dirty player. So Ryan Clark saying that this was okay means nothing to me because he was a dirty player that absolutely would do something like
Let
that.
me retract that. I don't think Ryan Clark's a dirty player. Ryan Clark
I do.
did everything within the rules at the time. Because Ryan Clark is 5'10", 5'11", a $190, like 200.
He led with his helmet a lot.
That
A
the rules
lot.
allowed it.
A lot.
If the rules are allowing it, then he did what he was allowed to do.
Fair.
If when we changed the rules and we're like, hey, you're not allowed to lead with the crown of your helmet anymore, then okay. And he was still doing it. Then it's like, okay, hold up. Rules changed. You're still doing that. This is now dirty. But at the same time, going back to the league trying to make it difficult for defensive players, they also tried banning the hip drop tackle, and it's impossible to call that penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody, like, if I'm trying to tackle fucking 6'5" George Kittle and I'm 5'10" DJ Reed, the only way I'm getting you down is by a hip drop tackle. And it's incredibly difficult to stop that and to call that penalty. But are they dirty for doing that?
But there are times where the way that players were doing that tackle, they weren't trying to, like, it was dirty. Like, you could tell, I'm not trying to tackle you. I'm trying to make a point and hurt you and make sure that you're not getting up next time or you're moving slower. Like, you know what I'm talking. There was a line with those tackles that players were crossing. They were starting to cross it.
But then
Same thing with
the
horse collar tackle. Like, yeah, if a guy is running away from me and my last ditch effort is to grab you, and if I just happen to get you from behind, if I'm strong enough to pull you down, I'm going to pull you down. But then it got to the point where some guys were using that and breaking legs. And like you have to be like, all right, let's ease back on it because you guys are not doing it in the spirit of the game. You guys are kind of abusing it.
Yeah, I just don't want to act like
that's
Ryan
where
Clark
the fakes
isn't Ndamukong Suh here. Like, or Albert Ainsworth or like all these guys.
But I just feel like these players, what they were doing was generalizing their complaints about what Anthony was saying about the league making it more offensive friendly, and they were generalizing what this was because this was a dirty
play no matter which way you go.
That was a dirty play. Like,
3 games is a lot.
I played the game and blah blah. I've been watching and playing football for 30 years. I know a dirty play when I see one. That was a dirty play. James hasn't watched football in years. James just saw that clip for the first time.
Dirty play.
That was a dirty play.
Yeah, with him leading with his forearm, that's definitely dirty.
Like, that's nasty. That's nasty
dirty
work.
Play. Like, we gotta stop with that. Like,
yeah.
I get it. You're mad. You're an ex-defender, and the league is soft. Cool, but you can still call that a dirty play. You can call that a dirty play without calling Shahir a dirty player. He might not be a dirty player, although his rap sheet is starting to say otherwise. But his reaction to it lets me know he did that on purpose. His reaction after the game lets me know he did that on purpose. Because when you hit me with the I talked to Trevor before the game, that to me is the same as I have black friends. Like, I don't care that you talked to Trevor Lawrence before the game. In that moment, you tried to hurt that man. So don't tell me, well, because we're friendly, I said hi to him in warm-ups. That means, I can't, is that like, If you want me to be the villain, I'll be the villain. Yeah, you're borderline. You're borderline right now, my guy. You're trying it. You're trying it. Your coach is not saying it. Like, I want to root for this Texans team. Dylan, I told you that I so badly want to root for this Texans team. But you can't be doing Bush League stuff like that. And then trying to hide your hands. Because I feel like the Texans are trying to hide their hands. And 3 games, I wouldn't have gave him 3 games. I would have given him 1, maybe. Once I learned about all his other stuff, maybe 2 games. 3 is tough. But hey, they warned him. He got 7 notices in the NFL telling him to stop doing shit like this. Like 7? Yeah, they're gonna have to drop the hammer on you. Like 7, and then to top it off, you hit Sunshine. Of all the quarterbacks in the league, Sunshine's one of those guys. Like, you don't touch him. You can do that to Daniel Jones. you can do that to like, no disrespect to him, like, you can do that to AOC. Like, you can do that to them dudes. Trevor Lawrence is not one of those dudes you do that to.
One of the guys who got paid, you can't touch.
You can't do that to him. So, like,
imagine if he did that to Mahomes.
He'd be kicked out the league. His season would be, if he did that to him, he would have been. His season is over.
His career, he would be assassinated if he did that to Mahomes.
His season is over. The Swifties are coming after him. Like, it's a wrap.
Yeah, he would have got the what's homie from the Ravens.
He would have got a song written about him.
Yo.
Running back from the Ravens.
Ooh, my man, the
you talking about Ray Rice?
Yeah, he would have got the Ray Rice treatment.
Yeah, they never let Ray back in the league. They never let Ray back in the league. No, yes, they did. Right?
They didn't.
No,
he was done.
By
the time they were ready to, he was already he was running back hell. He was running back hell. He was like 31, and everyone was like, "Yeah, we're good."
Yeah, he couldn't make a team. I remember when they lifted it.
Like, we don't want to invest in a 30-year-old running back who hasn't played football in 3 years.
They always pull that, right? Oh, you haven't played a contact sport, and how many? I was like,
that shit. Yeah, Le'Veon Bell took a year off and just was garbage. Le'Veon Bell took a year off and was fucking terrible.
The way Le'Veon runs, though, also you got to stay active.
Yeah, he's a patient runner. He would sit there and wait and then just explode.
And if your explosion's gone, then you're done. So, I think Ray probably could have still played because he was a different kind of back. He could still played. But that was Sunday. That was actually the cherry on top for a very violent weekend.
Wild Sunday,
a wild football weekend. Yeah. Fights galore, planting flags in the
rivalry week.
Rivalry week was alive. James's Tar Heels. Here's the Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan with a big upset. Yeah, James, man. Your boy, you lost, man. You lost. Take the L. Take the L. BYU.
Damn, God damn, even the mascots are fighting shit.
Yeah, mascot 2 pieces at Arizona State mascot.
Yo, even the mascots were throwing. What?
Loser Florida State Seminoles. Oh, my Trojans.
Damn.
Yeah, Dylan Trojans. Michigan players got made.
The helmet. The punching.
Like, it was a wild weekend. So I don't know if we want to talk about any of them or just your thoughts on planting the flag in the middle of it. Because the common denominator in all of this was planting the flag in the middle of the field.
And that's
if you don't like it, play better.
Yeah, I mean that's just them being emotional. That's always been the thing.
College rival. There's nothing like in all of sports like a college sports rivalry. That shit is for real. It is ingrained because not only is it just like, oh, I hate this team. It's I've hated this team for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years.
And they're talking shit on the line. They're talking shit in the locker rooms. They're talking
The alumni come and talking shit. The people who are funding the school with billions of dollars are talking shit. Everybody's talking shit. It's pure
mascots going here.
pure hate. There is nothing like it. Like, Anthony, you sit here, you say, oh, I hate the Pacers. I hate the Pacers. Your hate for the Pacers is nothing like the level of Michigan versus Ohio State. They fucking hate each other. Like Miami, Florida State. Like Florida, Florida State. Like USC, Notre Dame. USC, Penn State. Michigan, Michigan State. Fucking Alabama, Auburn. Like,
Alabama,
these
Auburn
are
hate each other,
fucking
too.
hate.
Each other.
Yeah. They're those games are marked on their calendar with a skull.
Like, and the best part about it is, Anthony, all of these teams could be dog shit, right? This Michigan team was dog shit all year.
They were a 23-point underdog going into that game.
And they went to the number 2 school in the country and said, fuck you, our house. Plant the flag.
We win.
That's wild.
Like, in the NFL, that's the equivalent of the Panthers beating the Chiefs.
And not even.
Not like, or the Jaguars beating the Bills.
That's close. Yeah, that's
the Jaguars beating the Bills is probably the closest thing to that. College hate is different. That's what makes it so much more fun to root for sometimes. Because every week, no matter what, you're always rooting for the win. Because it doesn't really matter if they win. You're not fucking up draft position. But like, if your team is like like a traditional school, like a legacy school, you're gonna get recruits. You're gonna end up being good no matter what. Eventually, so like you root to ruin the other team's lives.
Like, and Michigan absolutely ruined Ohio State's season. Like,
Michigan might have gotten that coach fired.
Yeah, that coach might get fired if they don't win the Natty. He probably will get fired because he's lost to them 4 years in a row now.
There's a whole graduate class in Ohio State who has never beaten Michigan,
which is also Anthony. That also is why that burns so much because the seniors on that Ohio State team, they've never beat that team, and
they never will, and they never will.
They never will.
But they will hate Michigan forever.
Forever. I agree with you, Dylan and James. Like, if you want to stop it, beat them. It's wild disrespect though.
But like
it's
in the case of
that's still disrespectful. Like,
it's madly disrespectful to do that though.
Who gives a fuck?
Win the game.
Win the game then, because what Florida State did.
Because if you don't want that to happen, you got to win the game so you can do it. That's it.
Okay. So, and you saw what happened. They took the flag because the other team didn't win the game. They planted that shit because they thought it was all sweet, and then hands was getting thrown. Even the mascots were throwing hands.
They plant that shit fully expecting what's happening to happen. Mm-hmm. The problem is, Florida State last year beat the Gators, did the same thing on their home field.
Beat the dog
and
shit
when I tell you they beat them,
they
beat the dog shit out of them.
And then went and planted their flag in the middle of the field. And
in the middle of the fucking
Florida
swamp.
got their lick back. And Florida State, Roz's team, acting like a bunch of babies because Florida was getting their lick back and putting the flag in the middle of their field.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of babies.
You got it. If you're gonna dish it, you got to be able to take it.
But all of that to say,
or you just throw hands.
Texas, no,
or that
Texas. I don't know, Dylan. Did you see what happened with Texas?
No,
they beat Texas A&M. Shook hands, did all of that. Texas A&M. Both teams went to the locker room. Texas came back out of their locker room to plant their flag in the middle of the field.
That's bitch
shit. And Sark told them no and made them go back in the locker room.
Yeah, That's bitch shit.
So-
If you're gonna do that shit.
I
while
was wondering
everybody's
what she was
there.
gonna say because I was like, I know
I'm not here for
it's
fake tough guy
cool,
shit.
it's all of that.
Oh, they want to avoid controversy.
Yeah,
Fuck
like
it.
They want to
It's
avoid drama.
controversy regardless.
And you gonna
They want to avoid drama.
That's soft.
Nah,
That's
that's
soft.
man.
That's smart.
Sorry.
That is smart.
No.
You gonna
If
wait
you
until
have
That's
the
smart.
balls to go put your flag on the other person's fucking 50-yard line in their logo, you better do it in their fucking face. At least give them the respect to do it in their face.
What are you talking? That's disrespectful as shit doing it in the face.
Don't wait till I'm in the locker room where I can't properly give you repercussions for it. Like,
What?
that's soft. If you're gonna, that's like saying if me and you are talking face to face like we're about to fight and you weren't saying nothing to my face, but the second you get pulled away you start talking shit, that's soft. That's soft. Don't do that. Don't act tough when you're behind the fucking security. Act tough with me in your face. Like if you're gonna plant that flag, do it with me right fucking there.
And if we gotta throw hands, we gotta
And
throw
watch
hands.
what happens. If not, you're soft. That's kudos to Sark for saying, get your fucking ass back in there. We're not going to play these dudes like that. You had your chance. You had your chance, and you fucking blew it.
Well,
You don't get that satisfaction now.
He did it. He did it because he doesn't like the flag planting. That was his whole point. He don't like the flag planting.
Whatever, Sark. I
But
remember
still,
best flag plant I've ever seen.
Is it corny? Yes. Is it smart? Yes.
Baker Mayfield's flag plant that he did where they came through after the game, he grabbed the flag, waved it around in the middle, and then boom!
On Ohio State. Oh,
yep. That's an all-time flag plant. All-time flag plant.
That was G shit.
Let me tell you something about Baker Mayfield in college, Anthony. Dog. Fucking dog.
He was about that.
Jimmy Manziel Part 2.
Nah. Baker was about that.
Better than Manziel.
Baker was about that life in college.
Better than Manziel in all facets where not only was he really good at football, he also would try to fight you. He was trying to fight everybody.
Talk that shit and talk
he
that
was
shit.
sitting there, that game against Kansas where he's sitting there at the 50-yard line.
They didn't want to shake his hand.
They didn't want to shake hands.
They didn't want to shake his hand at the coin toss. The captains, he put his hand out to shake their hand, and the captain didn't do it. And Baker went, okay.
Threw for like 500 yards and like 5 touchdowns, starts walking up and down the sidelines. You're a fucking basketball school. You're a fucking basketball school. Get the fuck out of here.
It was at that moment that I knew I fucked with Baker.
Dog.
It was at that moment that I was like, yeah, Baker's my guy. Baker's my
guy. Never mind.
Yeah,
Dog.
Baker's my
guy. Never mind. Baker's my guy. I'm off of it.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the same now. You could have just called him a dog. You didn't have to label him as one of your guys, Mike.
Bad
annotation. But
great story, Dylan, but Mike ruined it.
If you're gonna plant your flag, do it with me there. That's the moral of the story. Don't be a fucking bitch about it. Do it with me there.
Hey Dylan,
if not, you're fucking soft.
While we're on college, real quick, I just want to point out Dylan. Dookies with the dub.
They came back?
Got the dub. And guess what? It makes it even sweeter because James's bum ass Carolina Tar Heels got their asses, their doors blown off tonight. blown off the hinges. Meanwhile, we beat the number 2 team in the country. Suck it, James. Suck it. Oh. Thanks for taking my fun away.
Yeah, you don't deserve it.
Thanks. It's all fun.
So, with Miami losing on Saturday, Miami promptly got packed up out of the fucking college football playoff when they were the favorite to not only win the ACC, the conference they played, but was to make a run at the Natty. I don't think they would have made it out of the second round, but they were favored to make a run. And then they lost.
Would have depended on who we got. And now, thanks to Terrell's bum ass school, and I hope you're listening, Terrell, because I hate you.
Syracuse.
ruined everything. Now Miami might not even get in the playoff.
Miami
Which
needs
is
so much help to
crazy.
get in.
Crazy. Meanwhile, Alabama, who lost to Vanderbilt, is still going to get in because they're Alabama.
Yeah.
Nick Saban's not walking through that door.
You are mighty hurt.
Bullshit.
Mighty hurt, sir.
Bullshit.
It's okay.
They have 3 losses.
I remember back in the day of maybe 7 years ago where the college football playoff and or the Bowls championship series was known as the Alabama Invitational. It was who played Bama. Who played Bama? And I knew that the committee would not keep Bama away very long.
Bama's got 5 losses. Who cares? It's
You can't do that. All right, stop. Stop. You can't do that. Mike's hurt. Mike's just hurt. It's okay. It's not about who you lose to.
Heard of Vanderbilt football? Never in your life.
The problem here is the NCAA did to you guys what they should have did to FSU last year, which was kick FSU out of like the top ranking because they weren't beating better opponents when everybody else was. You eventually have to move somebody down. And unfortunately for Miami here, it's not a matter of like the fact that they lost, it's when they lost.
Win, because we lose in week 10 instead of week 7 and 8.
Yeah.
They just lost to Oklahoma 3 weeks ago, Dylan.
Hey,
3 weeks ago.
That's what matters. It's all not about that you lose, it's about when you lose. And the closer you lose to that playoff, the worse it is for you. So it's always kind of been like that, though.
Syracuse is ranked. Syracuse is ranked right now. Right now, at this moment, we lost to a ranked team.
What rank
on
were
the
they?
road?
What rank were they?
I think they're ranked 22 or 23.
That's not an acceptable loss. That's not an acceptable loss. But then you also lost to unranked Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech that took number 7 Georgia to 8 overtimes. That Georgia Tech team.
Listen,
that
they
Georgia
still are
Tech
unranked. And the problem is, if you're a ranked team and if you're a high ranked team like Miami was, you lose to an unranked team, you got to drop, right? And they didn't drop as far as I thought they were going to. But then you lose to that Syracuse team, which is a low, like ranked in the 20s. You got to drop.
Alabama has 3 losses this year. 3. 1,
All
2,
that matters
3.
when you lose. And the SEC always is going to be weighted higher than anybody else. Always is, always will be. Ole Miss shouldn't be there on the first out. Ole Miss should not be there because that should be South Carolina. They got fucked. South Carolina should be the first one in if there's a loss. Because boy, oh boy, they've had themselves a good little 6-game stretch.
I mean, if we doing a who looks like the best team right now, the hottest team, Colorado should be in too. I wouldn't want to play Colorado right now, but I wouldn't want to play Colorado right now. Would you?
No, but well, it depends on who I am.
I think Colorado.
If I'm any team that plays defense, I want to see Colorado.
I think Colorado could beat Boise right now. I think Colorado could beat SMU right now. I think Colorado could beat Arizona State. I think they could give Tennessee a game.
I don't think they give Tennessee a game. I love that you said, oh, they could beat the Mountain West team. They could beat the ACC team. They could beat the Big 12 team.
They wouldn't beat Miami.
No, but ACC is really only 2 teams. 3 teams.
But SMU is right where SMU should be around 9 or 10.
Yeah, they shouldn't be 3.
Well, that's because of the weird.
That's because the way the seating is. But
SMU's
also not a good team.
Do you think Colorado could beat Notre Dame?
No, I don't.
I don't know.
The only problem here is the trenches. Notre Dame's always got good fronts, so I can't trust that Colorado offensive line to protect Shador enough.
But the difference is, I think Miami, outside of Oregon, Georgia, and Texas, Miami could beat anybody else in the country.
I don't think Miami could beat Ohio State. I don't think
Miami could beat Ohio State because they can't play.
Georgia.
They can't score enough. And this game this Saturday just showed me that. Ohio State,
but that's a rivalry game. You can't compare that
State
game to anything else. You can't
I
compare
saw
that
Penn
game
State
to
do the
anything.
same thing to them.
I think Miami could beat Penn State. I think Miami could beat Arizona State. I don't think Miami could beat Notre Dame or Alabama.
We would have beat Notre Dame.
I don't think you guys can beat Georgia.
They can't beat Alabama. Alabama can't score either.
I don't think you guys can beat Alabama.
Alabama can't score.
But they play the fuck out of defense, though.
Their defense ain't that good.
They're
not stopping
their
Miami.
Defense better than Georgia Tech.
Miami's still scoring 28 on them.
Their defense better than Georgia Tech and Syracuse.
Miami's still scoring 28 on them.
Y'all not beating Texas. Y'all beating Oregon.
Not beating Texas. I'll give you that. We probably won't beat Oregon. Those are the two best teams in the country.
Tennessee would, I think, give you guys a run.
Tennessee would be tricky. Tennessee would be hard because Tennessee can score.
But like you guys can beat SMU. You guys can beat Boise State. I think Boise State's gonna get routed, depending on who they play.
It depends on who they play. Because Penn State doesn't blow anybody out. So
yeah, but Penn State talent-wise is better than anybody Boise State has played all year.
But I don't think they would rout Boise. I think they would just win.
I think it would be a solid win.
Arizona State, though, Boise's beating them.
Yes.
Boise's beating them.
I think Boise's beating them.
I think
that's just because the Big 12 doesn't play any defense.
I think Arizona. I don't know how Arizona State's here, actually, to be honest with you.
They're here because Colorado lost.
I don't know how Arizona State's here.
Arizona State.
And if Iowa State gets in, I don't even. I have literally not watched Iowa State 1 second.
Iowa deserves to be here.
I've not watched them play 1 second. So
Iowa deserves to be an Ohio State spot, to be honest.
You think Iowa State is a top 10 team?
Yeah.
You think they're better than SMU?
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch them.
I think they're better than SMU. Ohio State and Iowa should switch because you can't lose to an unranked team that you just can't. You can't do that. You have to be punished for losing to an unranked team.
But not Alabama.
It depends on when you lose. Depends on when you lose.
They didn't.
So did you guys?
They did it twice.
Well, no, you lost to a low ranked team, so I'm not going to do you like that. But you can't punish Iowa by giving them Georgia. Like, that's not fair to them. They won their games. Ohio State should be punished for losing to an unranked team and have to face Georgia.
I mean, facing Tennessee is not.
Who would you rather face?
Tennessee.
Yeah, okay.
But they're home. I don't understand why they're home. If they had to go to Tennessee, I wouldn't want to play Tennessee in Tennessee.
I wouldn't want to play Tennessee Rocky Top.
I wouldn't want that game.
No. But luckily for everybody else, everything else is in neutral sites, so they are very lucky to not have to play Texas in Texas, Oregon in Oregon. Like, yeah, so lucky.
Having to go to Oregon was not fun. But
we got championship week this week. We'll see if that helps Miami out at all.
Should.
Or not, you'll be paying the fucking Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. The Duke's Mayo Bowl. Where Cam Ward's be like, I'm not playing in this fucking game. This game don't matter. See the draft.
What's gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Every player that's going to the draft is like, I'm not playing in this fucking bowl game. Because they don't matter. Matter for the school.
It's gonna be like Florida State, and we're gonna get blown out by 50.
Oh well. And then everybody that you had is gonna go to the NFL, leave you, and you're gonna be dog shit.
No, I don't think so. He's recruiting well. He does good in the portal, so
he does good in the portal, but I don't know what quarterback you're gonna get to replace Cam Ward.
We'll
That's
see what
gonna be the
happens.
problem here. This is the best quarterback y'all have had in fucking 20 years.
We got to get the next best quarterback we've had in 20 years.
I don't think that's how that works. You're gonna end up with DJ Oogie Badoogie as your fucking quarterback.
That guy stinks.
He's fucking terrible.
Pat McAfee would say, "This guy stinks."
For those, his name's really not DJ Oogie Badoogie. It's DJ Oogie Ungagale. I had to pull a mic and mispronounce his last name on purpose.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Eamon Thompson.
Eamon Thompson. I know that spells. That spells Amen.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
All right, we move.
We move on to another tournament. The Emirates NBA Cup. We have our final 8. And I like it. I kind of like it. I feel like the players are playing. The courts
They definitely are.
God awful this year. Just bad.
Yeah, they're much better. They're not as bad as last year. Boy,
still bad, but not as bad. It's gonna work out. It's gonna work out pretty good because James's Orlando Magic is going against Milwaukee, who he thinks stinks. My Knicks against Anthony's Atlanta Hawks. Because Anthony, you're gonna be rooting for Trey, right? Right? You're rooting for Trey. It's a winner take all game. So we're gonna get Ice Trey, right? Ice Trey. That's what we're getting, right?
if the Knicks lose that game, you know damn well Anthony's sending snowflakes and freezing emojis into the chat.
Fraud.
Fraud.
Not gonna comment on any of this.
Silence is loud enough.
Anthony, I don't know why.
I'm not engaging in this conversation.
You don't want to disclose how you acted in the chat?
I don't want to engage in this conversation. I choose not to.
When Trey told New York to go home,
Anthony was like, wow, look at Trey Young just telling all the New York Knicks fans in Atlanta to go home. So he was like Jameis Winston, I'm just so blessed that God has allowed me to play football in the snow.
I will say that both of the West Coast games I think are going to be really good games.
Yes.
Because I think that Houston Golden State game is going to be good, even though Golden State is going through it right now with injuries, with Draymond being hurt and stuff. I still think we're gonna get vintage Steph. So,
and then OKC Dallas.
That OKC Dallas is that's the main event game to me. That's the big one. Because
Jay versus Sky.
them Thunder, them boys is playing again. Them boys is playing. So, do you guys feel more enthused this year? Still like,
Yeah.
I still.
To be honest, I've caught like one Knicks game, and I've caught like every Nuggets game for some reason. It's so weird. I catch every late night Nuggets Emirates game.
I still don't know how I can get behind this. Like I get it. I like that the games are more physical and they're invested in these games more, but like I don't like that they'll have like if they have a tournament game and then they go back to playing regular ass basketball and then they have a tournament game, the next week and then regular ass basketball and then a tournament game. It's not like you can't get me invested like this is a Sweet 16 tournament when you're not treating it like such.
I get that.
Because honestly, the main. No, you see.
I think the way, if you want me to really care about this, have all of the games actually lead into this. Like where you have all of your games in a row, where it's like, okay, I have to win this game, and this game, and this game, and this game, and then bam, we're there. Actually treat it like a tournament. But I don't think you can do that.
Go to that. I don't know if they, because it just the way the rest of the season is, I don't think they can schedule it that way.
Mm-hmm. So there's no way you can there's no way I think you can make this. I don't want to say more accessible because I think it's already accessible when they've made it very clear that like Wednesdays and Fridays were tournament days. So
that's why I don't think they can change it because
this is year 2, right?
Yeah, this is year 2.
The eye roll.
I think there's a financial investment in the cup, mainly for like the youngins and whatnot. Like to try and get those people paid. That 500K is not going to do nothing for LeBron, but it's going to do something for that two-way player and that guy who's on the league minimum. So I can see an investment in that regard. As far as just like pride off of winning a cup in season, I don't know. I still think it's pretty low, to be honest. I don't think they're that invested in that, to be honest.
If you as a millionaire don't have pride in playing regular season games already, I don't think putting a title on these games is going to really affect it at all.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want. They say that this was made to keep the casual watchers continuously watching because people check out and only start to watch after the All-Star weekend or closer to the playoffs, throughout the playoffs. I thought that too, but I felt like now when I look at it, this was definitely a play to get the players to play more games instead of sitting. And then they implemented the no rest days as well. This is definitely just a part of keeping the players engaged and trying to play more games versus sitting more games.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to get the play. I think it is a sneaky way of getting the players to play more. But there's definitely money. This is definitely about money. I think they have kept people interested. I do think it keeps fans interested. It keeps you invested. We're talking about it a little bit more now. And it keeps you invested up until Christmas because most people don't start watching the NBA until Christmas. Once Christmas comes, then it's like, all right, let me sit down, watch my NBA. Football's wrapping up. Let me start to get invested in basketball for when football ends. So it's a good trick. I do think as the years go on, this will mean a little bit more. But I think they still have to tweak it maybe a little bit. But the money definitely helps. The money definitely helps.
They gotta make it $1 million.
Well, as the TV deals go up, it'll.
Millionaires.
Listen, LeBron doesn't give a fuck about 500K. I mean, come on now.
Ultimately,
but LeBron wanted to win last year.
LeBron's you need those guys to play because the guys who are only on two-way contracts aren't seeing the court in these games. So you need to have the guys who are already making this money care a little bit.
Exactly. Kevin Durant shitting on this tournament was not a good look for the NBA.
Kevin Durant is a curmudgeon.
What's 500K to Kevin Durant? I need that.
He's a curmudgeon. He's gonna shit on everything that's just like, why? Like, what are we doing here? I just want to hoop. Like, stop doing this shit. Just make it normal. He's definitely old man yells at Cloud now.
Yeah. We're never gonna see Kevin when he retires. We're never gonna see Kevin.
Never. He's gonna be in the club still practicing his jump shot.
He's very much gonna be like Larry Bird. Larry Bird just fell off the face of the earth. So I think Kevin Durant very much is gonna be like that also. But that's really it. I don't know if anyone wants to talk about anything going on in the hoops world. The Thunder look great. Cleveland looks good. Still early though, James. Not yet. Wait till Christmas.
I can't wait till we play them. So far from now.
I would say, well, you stay waiting until 2025, bro.
Yeah, the Knicks don't play them until what? May, February, I think.
Yeah, February.
But no, I think that the way that the league is playing right now is pretty fun. I haven't watched every game, but the games that I have watched are pretty fun. I like where the Nets are at right now.
Hashtag Nets.
So annoying.
Didn't they just win the other day? Didn't they beat the Pacers yesterday?
One today.
They won tonight.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was today. Oh, okay.
You will see the excitement on Dylan's face. He's celebrating.
I told Anthony like a month ago that Pacers team is a bunch of fucking frauds. They shouldn't have lost to this undermanned net team. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we letting T-shirt boy score fucking 30?
The Nets are a good team, Dylan. Would you tell them what the Nets are?
They're gonna be a playing team. That's what they're gonna be. Love that.
They're currently in a playing spot right now. Number 8.
This is the worst. Somebody needs to hide Jordy Fernandez's keys.
Need to get you tickets for that playing game.
I want to rock your chain.
No, I know I'm going to get tickets for the Vince Carter jersey retirement.
Bring the chain out, Dylan. Yeah, go get it.
Do the Nets have a saying?
Hashtag 26.
Hell yeah. We'll just go with that. Hashtag 26. There you go, Dylan.
Luckily
Embrace
for y'all, when I got my Christmas decorations down, I found this bad boy.
You know you're right by your bed. Oh, keep it right by your bed.
I put it away. I absolutely put it away. When I moved into the balcony over here, I put it away.
You didn't find it. It found you.
I think
love always finds a way.
I think that is a great segue into fantasy focus. Let's get our fantasy focus thing. No, not basketball. Foosball. Let's get our picks, and Dylan, let's play the music.
Am I first yet?
Mike, is your lead safe?
Drop. All right, we're here. So, if y'all would just shut up and let me get to work here, I'll explain what's going on. So,
please do.
We have a tie for first place still. Mike and Roz are tied at 52 points each. Anthony is in second place with 45. I am in last place with 44. All of us had a perfect week last week.
Mike cheated.
No, Mike did not cheat. Nobody cheated. Anthony's just fucking ridiculous and doesn't know how math works. He's like, am I in first place yet? No, you would need Roz and Mike to miss every pick consecutively for like 2 weeks. While you also went perfect. So, with that being said,
and Dylan being in last place. Dylan
Me
goes
being in last
first.
place, I am going first. That way, I can get my pickings on these fucking games, or you losers can. All right. My number 3 pick, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Las Vegas Raiders.
Damn.
You fucking bitch.
Oh.
My number 2 pick, give me the Philadelphia Eagles over this dog shit Panther team. Dog shit.
Did it.
Then, for my number 1 pick, give me the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Cleveland Pick Sixes. Anthony, you are good to go.
My number 3, I'm gonna go Buffalo over LA. My number 2, my 2-pointer. Fuck. I'm gonna go Cincinnati over Dallas. And my number 1, I'm gonna go Minnesota over Atlanta.
Kirk Cousins revenge game.
Ain't gonna get much revenge that game.
So the benefits, Roz is not here. So I will be going last unless James. Well, James always goes last for whatever.
I'll go last.
I get to
Let me
sit
show
here.
Let me show you this. There we go. Here's the standings. As they
I mean, I would have kept going if Dylan just said, "Oh, you don't have a shot."
I mean, you always had a shot. If the thing is, James, if you would have kept going and beat Anthony or myself, I would have absolutely not held you accountable for anything. I would have just like, oh,
But you pulled me out of it.
I didn't pull you out of it. You started doing your
I can go pull it out.
I was like, you gotta give me, you because you missed a week, and then it's like, I can't. It's not fair. If I were to hold you accountable because you missed a week, I'd be an asshole, right?
Wait, I missed a week, but they were I remember getting perfect weeks in before.
Yeah, but you missed a week, and then you missed 6 points. That automatically puts you at a bad spot. I will put it up to vote that if you are going to keep doing the same picks, I will retroactively go and recount everything.
Roz ain't gonna go
I mean,
for
I
that.
don't have a shot now. So.
Roz wouldn't go for it. Trust, Roz wasn't gonna go for that.
I mean, we got majority rule. Does it matter?
Roz is sitting here asking for recounts in week 12. So
He was throwing a fit. I was just in the emergency room. I did not get a chance to count. I knew I fucked up already
I mean,
beforehand.
It was rightfully so because when they did the recount, it was a tie.
no,
Like counting
I was winning.
I was
As
winning.
I stated,
And
when I said
I'm
it.
winning.
I was winning. When
You
I
were
made
winning,
that
and then you
statement,
were not winning.
And then
I
you were
was
not
winning.
winning.
That doesn't matter.
You can't claim victory. Like, this is what Anthony did when the Raiders won week 1, like 2 years last year. He was like, the Raiders are the number 1, are first place in the AFC West. Nobody else has played, Anthony.
Yeah,
Of course you are.
bullshit, Mike.
All I said on Friday was I have 5 points already and I'm winning. And Roz threw a whole hissy fit. That's all I said. Was
Has this
I'm
team
already.
played yet?
You can go back and
Nobody else played.
All I said was it's Friday. I
So
already
how
got
are you
my
claiming
5
that and nobody else team played?
Mike,
Mike?
lower the
All
volume of the music real
I
quick.
said was
Lower the
it's
volume.
Friday and I've got my 5 points already. I'm feeling good. And Ron threw a hit.
Just now you said that I got my 5 points and I'm in the lead.
I got my 5 points and I'm in the lead. I'm winning.
Mike, can you lower the volume of the
I
music,
would
please?
say that if nobody's other teams played,
Because I was winning. Was I not winning?
he's gonna die on this ledge. Just let it go.
Was I not? Am I?
You're the
crazy?
one still going, James. You're the one
I'm over
still
it.
going.
I was winning.
Claiming victory when nobody else has played is hilarious.
Look, he sees nothing wrong with it. Like nothing's wrong.
I'm not
with
claiming victory. I'm stating
Oh,
a fact that
dang.
I'm winning. I'm winning. That was the statement. I'm winning, and that is a fact. It was a
In
fact.
that moment in time, you were ahead.
Thank you. That's it. That's all I said.
But that's such a Mike
All
thing
I
to
said.
do.
it. Yeah.
All I said.
Such a
I'm
Mike
winning.
thing
I'm
to
winning.
do.
such
How
a-
about give me my credit? Give me my credit.
Such a pat me up, pat myself on the back.
5 points.
Pat myself on the
5 out of 6 already. I'm winning. Everybody wants to
Let
You're
it
not
go.
winning.
Let it go.
I'm winning. As I was saying, the benefit of sitting here in the cat seat is being able to thwart Dylan from being able to catch me, because I get to see what Dylan is doing. And in this situation, me and Dylan are a hive mind, because those are the exact 3 games that I was going to pick, and those are the exact point scenarios I was going to pick. Those exact 3, just like that. I'm not gonna do that to Dylan.
That would be a bitch move if you started doing that.
But I am going to take Philadelphia for 3 points, because that is my slam dunk.
This motherfucker's cheating.
Contrary to what Anthony may think about Bryce Young, Philly is going to dog walk them on Sunday. And I'm taking that 3 points. The 2-pointer,
The
I will
cupcake picks continue.
I will let Dylan have the 2-pointer, because Tampa Bay is also going to dog walk your Raiders. I just want you to know that. Baker Mayfield is going to have a day. But I'm not going to pick that day. Won't do that. Won't do that thing. Because I want Dylan to catch and pass you, Anthony. And I want there to be no. So give me what is actually a Anthony pick, and give me Kansas City for 2 points. Give me Kansas City for 2. And for my 1-pointer, even though I don't like anything about this game because I hate Dylan's team, give me Miami. The Jets always ruin everything. But give me Miami. Give me Miami for 1.
Jets sent me to the hospital on Thanksgiving.
So Eagles. What did I say?
Eagles, Chiefs, Dolphins.
Kansas City.
Dolphins. There you go. Don't know
stayed
what
away
vibes
from that
you're gonna
game.
pick.
I stayed away from that game. That game has Seattle Seahawks Sunday game written all over it to me.
I wanted no parts of that game because I still don't trust Tyler. I still don't trust him. So I wanted no parts of that game. I also want no parts of that San Francisco game.
Yeah, that San Fran game has Bears winning that all over it.
Yeah, I want
Man,
no
cut
parts
the
of
beat.
There we go.
There you go.
All this yapping. I say, yo. For my 3 points pick, I am picking the Buccaneers to beat the Raiders.
Good job.
For my 1-point pick, I'm picking the Jaguars to beat the Titans.
Oh.
And for my
Oh.
2 pick, I am picking
The Jets.
the Jets to beat the Dolphins.
I for sure thought he was going to pick the Titans to win after we talked about how the Jaguar season was already over.
The Jets to beat the Dolphins. But this time, it's in good faith. Because I want the Jets to win.
Just the screw me up.
Just
I'm
to
rooting.
mess
I'm
up
rooting for the curse.
draft
I'm rooting
slots.
for the curse because Mike's draft picks are gonna get fucked up because they're gonna beat the dog shit out of the Jags,
Probably what's going to happen. We're probably going to beat the Jaguars.
and Mike's gonna be rooting for the win.
I will be because I don't root for losses.
He's like, I want Cam Ward, but not bad enough. We beat the Jaguars.
Culture.
Now, Mike, when Rod says Titans up on Sunday, will you be mad?
If he says it with the Jets winning and the Titans down by 4 touchdowns, because that's what happened.
He did it after y'all scored.
and wants me to believe I was rooting for you. That's the game we're
To
playing.
be fair, he's been very clear that he's been rooting for the Titans to win because it helps our draft case. So, like, I've also been rooting for the Titans. I'm also rooting for the Raiders. Not hard enough because I have a bet on, or I have a prediction on the Raiders not winning more than 4, but I need them to win enough.
So again, we really think that that's what was happening.
I know that's what was happening because Roz and I were doing the same thing, rooting for you guys to win
Michael,
because we need you guys to win.
Big Mike was peeved.
He was so
said-
pressed.
He said, what we're not going to do is insult my intelligence.
Like, Mike is so bad. Like, Roz was not trolling you in the least bit. In the least bit.
You will
Man.
never convince me that he was not trolling. I know he was trolling.
I don't know because like I remember I was at work. I checked the chat. I didn't know what the scores were. I checked the scores. I saw the Titans getting the doors blown off them. Then I went to the chat. I just saw y'all making fun of Tennessee. So, I don't know. It looked like some trolling up in there.
Like,
No,
What
it
you
was-
did seem
it was-
Roz
it
was
was
rooting
abs-
for more scoring from the Titans because we wanted the Titans to win. Because if
They
the
were
Titans
down
win and we
20.
lose, it helps.
28-7.
Yeah. Ooh, that was rough.
In the
the
third
Titans
quarter.
up, Mike.
And he
Tighten up.
let's go Titans. Stop it.
Let's go.
That's trolling, guys. That is trolling.
Let's go.
And
That's trolling.
And again, let's add the context that at the exact moment that he did that, the Jets were winning. So let's not forget that he was absolutely feeling himself because the Jets were winning and the Titans were getting their doors blown off.
I think that's where you're misunderstanding Roz because he was definitely not feeling himself because he was absolutely mad that the Jets were winning.
He plays, it's a front. He wants the Jets to win.
Listen,
It's a coping
rooting for the
mechanism.
Jets to win. I can't fuck with that. And I will promptly call him out on it. Like, if the Jets win and I'm the only one complaining about a Jet win and he's like, I'll take a win. Okay, I've already kicked him out of the fan base once. I'll do it again. I will gladly do it again. I have no
And
problem
then
with that.
all I did was promptly return a troll with a troll and put up a factual stat that the Jets have had a losing season 9 straight years. That's all
Correct.
I did.
God damn.
Correct.
That's it.
But you're trolling. That's the problem. You've been attacking the Jets out of nowhere a lot all year. And I've been quiet. I've been promptly quiet on it.
Because you've deserved it. You deserved all
I'm
of it.
eating my crow, but you say I dodge, like I'm avoiding eating crow. No, I'm eating it. Like I'm sitting here facing you every time you bring it up. But, and I've been very nice about the Titans.
Because there's nothing you can say.
No, there's a lot I can say.
When you picked your team at the Super Bowl.
There's a lot I can say. I just
and you picked your fired coach to win Coach of the Year, and you picked your quarterback that you want cut to be MVP. You picked all of these things to happen. All of it. No one forced you to pick any of that.
Again,
you are going to take all of this trolling. You did all of that.
Okay, and Mike, I understand that. But what you're not going to do is going to keep doing this and then expect nothing in return.
The level of trolling between what's happening with the Jets and what's happening with the Titans is 2 different planets.
Oh, no. I'm not going to be trolling you. I'm just going to be talking fucking shit about how fucking bad you guys are. And we are even worse. Like, we are worse than you guys, and you guys lost to us.
And yet you're still worse than us.
Which is crazy that you got your ass beat like a drum.
That's how much you
by us.
That's how much.
And you were there. You traveled there to watch you get your ass beat like a drum.
And you're the number 5 draft pick right now.
You got your ass beat like a drum in person. You went to Tennessee to watch your Tennessee Titans lose to this disgraceful Jet team. You have seen this Jet team win more in person than I have. Somebody who lives, breathes, and dies by this Jet team. You have seen them beat not only your favorite team, not in my home, but in your home. And then you saw them beat your second favorite team in your home on top of it. Ass beat like a drum multiple times in this pod's life cycle, where you have been to MetLife to watch the Jets play the Titans, to watch the Giants play the Jets, and to watch the Jets play the Titans. You've been on 2 different sides of the country, the North and the South, to watch the Jets beat that ass like a drum. And you've seen it twice in the North to watch that ass beat like a drum. You traveled to Tennessee. I don't know where you drove. You drove to Atlanta, or you flew to Atlanta. You drove from Atlanta to Tennessee. Got that ass beat like a drum. Drove back to Georgia. Stopped at Buc-ee's to go get a fucking sandwich. Got that ass beat like a drum. Had to probably listen to everything. All of these are facts.
Yo, Mike, mute up, Mike.
And despite all of that,
nah. Mute up, Mike. Mute up. Don't try to over talk him with it's still the best sandwich ever. Nah, mute up on that.
Still haven't made the playoffs
and I haven't even
12
mentioned
years.
How you guys are fucking dog shit on top of it because I'm a bigger person.
You guys were on Hard Knocks talking all this shit. This is our year. Take flight. This is it. This is it. This is the year. You stink. Still. Always and forever. You stink.
I'm the bigger person.
What the fuck are we doing right now?
Captain America run out on the field in MetLife with a flag because this is the year. All of the lights just to come out and last.
Mike thinks because I was wrong in my predictions that he also is not allowed to eat shit.
Yeah, you gotta eat crow, Mike. You gotta eat crow.
Like
what are we doing here?
All year.
We got a whole
all year. I let it rock.
Stinking.
Like I let it rock. I have many opportunities to talk about how dog shit the Titans are, and I let it live.
You guys are both 3-9. What are we arguing about here?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What the hell are we arguing about?
The Raiders. I don't shit on the Raiders either. I have not shat on the Raiders at all this season, right, Anthony?
You have.
Not really. I mean, we stink. I mean, like, our teams are combined 8-29. What the hell are we arguing about?
I'm sitting here.
What are we going back?
I'm letting us all be bad, but I have to be the only one that faces anything. Like, that's crazy. Like
all our teams stink. We all have terrible like insults to injuries on top of the fact that our teams stink. Like I don't get it.
Did you pick the Raiders to win the Super Bowl?
No, hell
They
no.
make playoffs.
Did I pick?
I did pick them to make the playoffs.
Did I pick them to win the Super Bowl?
No, nobody here picked them to win the Super Bowl.
But we had two people on this show that picked the Jets to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because
Not
the Jets,
make-
unlike
not
the
Not go to the
aspirations.
play. No, they completely haven't
have
been to
Super
the
Bowl
playoffs in
aspirations.
12 years. And they completely skipped all the steps and said, we're not only going to just make the playoffs, we're not only going to just make the AFC Championship, we're not only just going to make the Super Bowl, we're going to win it. This is the year. We're going to win it. And they have 3 wins.
Mike, you guys traded for a below-average linebacker, and you said, we're going to win 9 games. That's exactly the piece we were missing.
You remember
a 9-game.
Mike shows violence right now.
How disrespected Dylan was when you hinted at the Jets not making the playoffs. How disrespected he felt when you hinted at them not making the playoffs.
I did. And you want to know what the problem is? Did anybody here think the Jets offense was going to be as bad as it has been over the last 4 years?
You stink.
You didn't answer my question. Did anybody think that the Jets offense with Aaron Rodgers was going to be as bad, outside of James, who's just a troll, outside of James, that the offense was going to be just as bad as it was?
Nobody saw that coming.
As bad? No.
Nobody saw that coming.
That's still the problem here.
Does that stop it from being funny?
No, it doesn't. And I deserve all of that because this all turned out to be my biggest fear. And I said that before we did the predictions of the episode before.
You did say that too.
That this is either going to be the best season of my life or it's going to be my biggest nightmare because everything that I said was going to happen is going to come true.
Except you won't acknowledge that your defense is terrible.
The defense, I did. The defense is terrible. The crazy thing is the defense is bad, and they're still ranked top 15. That's the fucking wildest thing to me. This defense is bad. They're still a top 15 defense. They're top 5 pass defense, 20th ranked run defense. Like, that's crazy to me that they're even still ranked that high. But again, that's what happens when your defense has to be on the field all the fucking time because the offense doesn't score fucking points. Get first down. Why do I have the same problems I was having over the last 3 years with Aaron Rodgers? Oh, because he sucks. He is worse than I thought he was going to be. And this is why I said, don't get him.
You stink.
Regardless, I'm going to be right or right. That's the problem here. And I'm right about the thing I didn't want to be right about. And I blame Roz.
You don't, as James has told you multiple times, you don't deserve good things.
I don't. And I blame Roz. Because when I said trading for Aaron Rodgers is a bad idea, he was like, who cares, Dylan? Enjoy the ride. And I quote.
Oh man!
I'll never forget that. I'll never fucking forget that. Who cares, Dylan?
Enjoy the ride.
Who cares, Dylan?
Definitely a ride. I'll tell you that.
It's a horrible ride.
It's been one of the best rides I've ever seen. Seeing y'all crash out in real time, it's been great.
It's all because all of you Aaron Rodgers fans, all of you fucking Aaron Rodgers dorks. I tried to tell you this guy fucking stinks. Oh my god!
These two.
You think I'm happy seeing Aaron Rodgers crash and burn like this? I'm not. Like,
this guy is Aaron Rodgers is the best thing. And this guy is someone better than that in the face ass.
But you know what makes it better? Knowing it's happening to you makes it all better.
I can't wait for Daniel Jones to be the next quarterback of the fucking Tennessee Titans.
It's not gonna happen.
I'll put all of my fucking bad juju that I've collected over the years that I'm able to transfer to one person. I'm transferring to you and you only. And I hope Daniel Jones is your fucking quarterback.
It's gonna be Cam Ward. It's gonna be Cam.
No, you guys are gonna beat the Jaguars. And you're gonna be out of the Cam Ward sweepstakes.
Yeah, Mike. I don't see you guys losing to Jacksonville. I'm sorry.
You better learn how to speak fucking Quinn Ewers.
Will Levis is gonna do everything in his power to make sure that happens.
Mayo Man's gonna fucking throw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns against this Jaguars team. Jeffrey Simmons gonna spine bust Matt Jones into Earth's crust.
If I had to say like whose team is in the best position right now, I'd probably say the Titans. I probably the reason why I don't think they have as many holes as the Jets or the Raiders, and I think the division is a lot easier than ours too as well. I think if the Titans have a good offseason, they can go back to competing. Whereas you look at the Raiders, even if we get Sanders, we're still not there yet. Denver's only going to get better. Chargers are getting better. Kansas City's already Kansas City. You look at the AFC East. New England's found their quarterback.
Yeah, but they have
they found their. Yeah, but they got the most important part right. Now you just build around that. Drake May is a dog. Yeah, but the hardest thing to do is get the quarterback. They got the quarterback.
The Jets just need the right coach and better quarterback play.
They need the right coach. They need the right GM. They need the right quarterback.
You just need. Well, I still think. I'm not going to say Aaron Rodgers is the answer because he's just terrible. You just need good quarterback play and the right coach. Because if the offense can score points, the defense is going to be in a better spot. And you have to add on.
What do you do with Aaron Rodgers?
You take him behind the fucking shed. I don't care. Just don't let him be in green and white next year.
Well, what do you realistically do with Aaron Rodgers?
You cut him, you spread out his cap hit for the next 3 years, and you move on.
Who do you get?
Anybody but him. I don't care.
So Daniel Jones?
Exactly. You say
him
that
too.
now.
No. You just rock with Tyrod. Honestly, rock with Tyrod for a year and see where you're at. And if you don't win games, cool, you're in the Arch Manning sweepstakes.
Dylan, do you care about this UFC card this weekend?
Isn't this the fucking
It's the Asian dude, the flyweight dude from Rising.
The Asian dude. I don't care about
that's literally what he is.
When do we start referring to people by their ethnicities, Mike?
Literally where he's from.
You could have just said homeboy from Rising.
That's a general statement that doesn't describe anyone.
Exactly, but I know.
Describes the entire roster.
If you said Rising, I would have been like, okay, I got you. It's probably an Asian dude.
Yeah, we don't care, folks. I don't care. We are out of here. We are out of here. Stay tuned. We've got big things coming.
Jesus Christ.
The third annual speakies are coming, fellas.
I can't wait to worst prediction. I'm going to accept that shit with such elegance and grace. I'm like this fucking guy where he got the award and he was so mad. Me, I'm going to fucking perish it. Get me a physical award.
I don't know.
Set it up.
I don't know, dude. I think I might win again this year. I gotta look at some of my NBA predictions.
I just got clowned for 10 minutes about picking the Jets for the fucking Super Bowl. You think you're winning it?
Yeah, but I gotta think about some of my NBA predictions. So I know I got some bad ones.
You did pick 3 teams to make the Western Conference Finals.
It's by far the worst.
Yeah, it's by Roz and I might be tied, but I can't let him win that. We have the same prediction. I have to win that award. But if Anthony isn't in second place with 3 teams to make the Western Conference Finals, then I don't know. Like that shit's crazy to me.
There's just no, but that'll be next year though. By the time that fails, it'll be next year.
No, but that's what I'm talking about. So like, So because because when we're talking about this year's speaking, are we? Because I'm thinking about my Wemby take. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not talking about anything this year that I
That
said.
Wemby take is hot because greatest rookie
Yeah, you know
season
what?
by
We
any
can talk
athlete
about
ever.
the Jet Super Bowl pick, but Wemby having the single greatest rookie season of any rookie in every sport ever.
Every sport. Ooh.
Hands down, one of the most asinine things I think I've ever heard a human say. I couldn't believe you forgot that.
So stay tuned. We'll keep you updated. For us, you guys have a good night.